touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Really excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. The Royals are back in action coming up later today. They are down in Arlington, Texas, taking on the Texas Rangers. I have never been to a Texas Rangers home game before, but I have seen their stadium, very beautiful stadium, right next to Cowboys Stadium. That's where the Royals are for the next handful of days or so. We are back to regularly scheduled programming. We will be talking about the Royals today. Denny Matthews will be on the show coming up in about an hour or so. Josh Vernier will also be on the show today as well. We're also going to talk a little bit of World Cup coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Actually, the president for the Kansas City portion of the World Cup is going to be on the show coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Really excited to be here with you guys today. We will talk about Game 5 of the NBA playoffs as well as the Oklahoma City Thunder. They take a commanding 3-2 lead against the Indiana Pacers. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with Tyrese Halliburton because yesterday he had as many made shots as his jersey number and he wears 0. Not a great day for the Indiana Pacers. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Rob is here as well. Happy that Rob is here. You are here as well. Well, before we move forward, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. And number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. It'd be great if you could tell 2 people to check out the show, but you know what? Beggars won't be choosers. If you could just tell one person to check out the show, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to split the lead up today. We're going to cut things in the middle. We're going to give the Chiefs a little bit of their time. We're going to give the Royals a little bit of their time. Let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the biggest questions, really the only question that we had for mandatory minicamp, which is today, tomorrow, and Thursday, was, will Trey Smith be there? Trey Smith, you guys know, got the franchise tag earlier in the year, and now the Chiefs are at the mandatory portion of camp. Now, for those of you that don't know the rules, you can be fined for missing the mandatory part of practice, but the team can choose to waive the fines. So let's say that Travis Kelce didn't want to come. He's a little bit older. He's been there. Let's say Travis Kelce shows up for the first 2 days but doesn't show up for the final day. The Chiefs can fine Travis Kelce $17,000, or they can simply just say, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. You are excused. Go ahead and get an early start on your vacation. So this part is up to the team's discretion if they want to fine you or not. That is not how training camp is. That's why it was a big deal a couple of years ago. Whenever Chris Jones was missing training camp, you cannot get those fines waived. It is in the collective bargaining agreement. So those things just keep adding up over time. So I was a little bit surprised to see that Trey Smith was there. There is definitely an injury risk. You are playing football. You are practicing football. You're running, you're jumping. If you get hurt, you potentially damage your value. Well, Trey Smith showed a sign of good faith. He is there. He is participating in Chiefs practice. This is not a hold-in. He's not just on the sideline looking. He is actually practicing with the Kansas City Chiefs. They asked Chris Jones about it, who would certainly know about being in this situation. This is what he said.
Well, it's good Trey didn't take my approach. Trey doing the right thing, man. Don't take no advice from me. Like, I did things a little different. Don't take no advice from me. Trey, you in a good place. Franchise tag is like $25 million, right? That's the big bucks. Yeah, he's in a good place. Stay healthy. Be ready to compete in training camp, which I know Trey will be, and we're excited to have him around. I think the future plans for the Chiefs is to have Trey around. He's a pivotal part of our offensive line. To have him back out here, he's a superior guard in this league. Could be all pro this year. His body of work speaks for itself. So we're glad to have him back out. Brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, and it's a good way for us to compete on the defensive line.
Right now, if you were looking at on a yearly salary, Trey Smith is the highest paid interior offensive lineman in the league. He is the highest paid guard in the National Football League. If you were talking about total contract, right now, the highest contract for a guard in the National Football League is 5 years, $102 million. It is also $48 million guaranteed. So Trey Smith has been guaranteed a little less than half of that number. I'm a little bit surprised that he's there, but I do think it shows a sign of good faith on both sides. You are not showing up to work today without feeling very good about where your negotiations are. So I believe that the Chiefs and Trey Smith are fairly close on a deal. And I expect that before training camp, we will see an announcement. We'll have a tweet. We will get a something that the Chiefs and Trey Smith have agreed to a long-term contract extension. I think the Chiefs want Trey Smith here. I obviously think that Trey Smith wants to continue playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is in line to make $23.1 million regardless of what happens this season. And now you are using that as the floor for your negotiations. So I suspect that the Chiefs are willing to pay him what the market says that he's worth. So I'm suspecting that he's going to get a 5 for $125, somewhere in that range, a pretty hefty guarantee. That is what you've already committed to paying Trey Smith. I believe that we are really close to getting that announcement with the Chiefs right guard, and at some point between now and when the team heads to St. Joe, I suspect that this is going to be a contract that gets done by the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, let's transition to the Kansas City Royals. J.J. Piccolo, he was on the midday show earlier today. There was a report that was circulating, basically, that the Royals are open for business, that because of the last 10 days for the Kansas City Royals, they're now open to moving some of their veteran players, and Seth Lugo was named. J.J. Piccolo was asked about this directly earlier today. This is what he said.
Unequivocally false. That is as false as can be, and the accountability of that writer should be in question.
That is J.J. Piccolo on Cody and Gold earlier today. Now, I don't know if this is true or not true. It's not my reporting. It's not my sourcing. I will say that J.J. Piccolo saying that it's not true doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case. Teams come out and deny reports all of the time. And then we find out that, no, in fact, you were having these conversations. I didn't expect J.J. Piccolo to come on the radio today and say, yeah, we've been talking about trading Seth Lugo. I didn't expect him to come out and say that. But I think more than anything, I think the Royals have told you we have not quit yet. Now, that's important. Now, that's step one. Acknowledging that you have not quit is a great first step. Now comes the hard part of turning this thing around. The Royals are in a danger zone right now. We are kind of reaching that portion where the summer is starting to get busy. You got vacations. Your kids have things that are going on. Football season is going to be here a lot more quickly than you anticipate. The Royals are in a little bit of a danger zone here of losing people's attention, and where the Royals are going to be one of those franchises, man, everybody's not going to be buyers at the deadline. And we have had a lot of conversations regarding this team about them being buyers, about them going out of the market and going to get an outfield, or about going to go get an impact bat to turn things around. I don't know if you can really justify that right now with the way that the Royals are playing. I would say it seems very likely right now that the Royals will either be a team that stands firm and doesn't make any moves, or a team that is going to be sellers and start to play and plan for next season. Now, we got a long way to go. We got 5, maybe 6 weeks to go before the Royals have to make that decision. But with the week that they just had, every conversation should be discussed. The Royals should be discussing, hey, we're not that far out of it. The Royals should be discussing, maybe it's not in our best interest to trade Seth Lugo right now. But the Royals absolutely should be having those conversations right now. That's part of your job. Part of your job sometimes is to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And you got to be honest and realistic with yourself about what chances you have to actually compete, actually win a championship, and do something special this year. And sometimes that requires you to make very difficult decisions. Maybe that requires you to trade a Seth Lugo to go get the impact bat that you want. And you're not thinking about that necessarily as a move to help you in 2025, but also help you in 2026 when the Royals will once again have the foundation to be a team that can win the division and be a team that can make noise in the postseason. But let's focus on the here and now. Let's focus on 2025. This is a season that is slipping away. The Royals, I think, have about 10 more days of your interest. And if the next 10 days go how the last 10 days have gone, it can be football season real quick around here. We could be heading into 4th of July weekend. Training camp is 2 weeks away. The Royals are 12 games under 500. They're 15 games back in the division, and we have all moved on our collective interest to doing something else. So how are the Royals going to handle these next 4 series? They got 2 on the road. They come back home. They got Tampa Bay. They also have the Los Angeles Dodgers in a series that I imagine a lot of people will go out there to the ballpark to watch. And usually when a lot of people go out to the ballpark, the Royals don't win those games. How the Royals play these next 2 weeks will tell us everything we need to know about J.J. Picollo, everything we need to know about their manager, everything we need to know about this roster. It's one thing to do the talking part, and they have done the talking part great the last 3 days. They're having team meetings with each other. Their manager, their general manager is coming out very emphatic. No, we're not trading him. Anybody saying that's ridiculous, and all of that sounds good. We're worried about the product on the field. And the product on the field has been incredibly disappointing the last 2 weeks. And you have put together an offense. You have built an offense right now that is 29th in runs scored. And we have been asking, begging, hey, if the Royals can just get to middle of the pack, they can do something. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. We are not that far away from the midpoint of the season. At some point, the Royals got to give you a reason to believe they're going to turn their offense around. And I just haven't seen many signs of that as we've been watching this team so far this season. Coming up on the other side, if you missed any part of J.J. Picollo, we've cut it down to the best of. We'll hear what the general manager of the Royals has to say. That's coming up next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Kansas City. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
It's Rawhide Harley's Sign and Ride event. No cash down needed. Rates as low as 1.49% APR on select Harleys. Put no cash down, sign, and ride away on your new Harley from Rawhide Harley. Save thousands on interest at Rawhide Harley Davidson. For credit on new 2024 low rider ST, low rider S, or road like 3 miles. See dealer for details.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any 2 for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just 2. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
Hello all, Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. It's springtime. Yay! This is when we start working in our yards. Be careful that your outside faucet didn't burst over the winter. Maybe you've discovered that it doesn't work very well. This month we are offering an outside faucet replacement special with access for only $3.99. So call Connolly Plumbing Solutions at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Listening is so important, and that's what Dawn Sharp does. She listens to her clients' needs. Buying or selling a home is stressful, and you want an agent who puts your needs at the top of every single list. And you want to contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Ask them about their instant offer program. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team, or better yet, pay them a visit at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Dominate your fantasy baseball league with Fantasy Baseball Today, part of the CBS Sports Podcast Network. Join Scott White, Chris Towers, and me, Frank Stanfield, every weekday as we recap every player from every game. We'll get you the latest news, waiver wire ads and drops, trades to make, prospect promotions, and everything else you need to take down your league. Follow and listen to Fantasy Baseball Today on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys. Coming up in just a little bit, we are going to play for you guys what J.J. Piccolo had to say earlier today. He was on the midday show. First, I'd like to play for you guys Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. spoke on the players-only meeting. I believe he is actually the one that called the players-only meeting. They had this after Saturday's loss to the A's, and it did so well, they lost again on Sunday. The Royals had an off day yesterday, all the time in the world to meet and try to figure this thing out. Here is the Royals all-star, Bobby Witt Jr.
I think it was good. We needed to have that. Things aren't going the way that we want it to be, and so we have to talk about it. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you got to talk as a team. We're a family in here, and so families talk, and so that's what we did, and we got to just figure some things out.
Why was now the time?
Because it keeps going on over and over again where it's like, oh, it's going to come, but no, it hasn't came, and so we have to figure something out. We have to change something, and so the time was now.
Did any one player spearhead this meeting or anything of that nature?
Yeah, it was kind of everyone. Everyone spoke their voice, and yeah.
Offensively, talking about hoping it comes. What's the stretch been like for you individually and as a team?
Yeah, for me, it's been not good, and so I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, what do I need to do? And I just need to get better. It starts from me, and that's honestly something that when I'm going, things are going better, and so I just got to get back to being myself. And so I'm not trying to put pressure on myself, but just trying to go out there, be comfortable and confident, and enjoy the game. And so that's what I want to get back to doing, and it's frustrating that I'm not doing what I am capable of doing and doing it very poorly, and so I just got to get back to be myself.
I'm not saying that this is Bobby Witt Jr.'s fault by any means, so I don't want anyone out there to take it that way. But the belief with a lot of people is that the Royals have the best player in the American League. Last year, a lot of people made the argument that Bobby Witt Jr. was the American League MVP because of how valuable he is to his team, both on the offensive and defensive side of things. He's a very talented, very good player. He is having a down year. He has 8 home runs. Did you know that right now, and I saw this actually right before the show, he doesn't have the most home runs this season at Kauffman Stadium. Think about that. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz has as many home runs as Bobby Witt Jr. has, and he played 3 games here. So that's one side of it. Last year, Bobby Witt hit 332. This season, he's hitting 279. His on-base percentage also down 50 points. He had 32 home runs last year. He has 8 home runs this year. Now, Bobby Witt Jr. is still having a very productive season, is still going to likely be an all-star. Does it feel like the Royals have the best player in the American League? Does it feel like the Royals have the second best player in the American League? So I'm not saying that Bobby Witt Jr. is their biggest issue. And trust me, the Royals have a lot more issues than just Bobby Witt Jr. But this team really is designed around the concept of Bobby being special. Bobby's been good. I don't necessarily know if Bobby has been special so far offensively for them. So that is one of the problems that the Royals have. You heard him say that, hey, I got to be better. I don't want to put a lot of added pressure on myself, and I get all of that. But one thing that could help get the Royals out of this slump is they go get back one of the most dangerous hitters in all of baseball. And right now, they just don't have that. They don't have a lot of things, but they don't have the one thing that their team is sort of built around. This team is different than the 14 and 15 Royals. Those teams were built off move the line and having a bunch of guys that hit 280 to 300. It's not really what this Royals team is based on. That's not how they won last year. They won last year because Bobby Witt Jr. was maybe the best baseball player on the planet, and how that fueled Salvador Perez and that fueled Vinny Pasquantino for much of the season. We're talking about a team that when Vinny got injured, the Royals were 6th in runs scored. So it's not like it was a long time ago in which this offense was very viable. So a lot of things have just declined. Bobby's 15, 20% worse this season. Salvy's not the same player. Vinny's not the same player, even though Vinny is starting to get things back on track. You start to kind of chip away at it from that perspective, and then some of your role players don't take the step forward the way that you thought they would. You have a couple of injuries. Guys don't perform the way that you think they're going to perform, and right now you're looking at an offense right now that's ranked 29th. That's on everybody. This isn't Bobby pointing and saying, hey, this is y'all problem. No, you are also a part of it. So we acknowledged it. We spoke as men. Let's see if we can get this thing together and get right back on track. The Royals are not that far off the path. They're 4 games under 500. You go out there and you win 8 of your next 10, you're right back in it. And you're right back in the thick of the wild card picture. So as bleak as it may feel right now for the Royals, you're really not that far off of the mark. It really just takes, in the same way that you did a lot of damage in 10 games, you can undo a lot of that. That's what they did earlier in the season when they had a similar stretch and then they got hot right on the back end, the end of April, early part of May. They can do that exact same thing if they just start playing better and more consistently. Earlier today, JJ Piccolo, he was on the midday show, and he was asked if he thinks that the players-only meeting is going to work for this team.
Well, I think it depends on the content of the meeting and how it goes. You know, my understanding was this was a very positive meeting. There wasn't any finger pointing. It was just like, guys, we got to get going here. Like we're underperforming right now. I think it can help, because again, that accountability piece is being voiced. But when it really comes down to it, you still got to play the game. You know, right now, we're not playing as aggressively as we typically do. That was one of the things last year. You all remember the boys are playing some ball. That was a mantra because we were playing great defense. We were running the bases well. We were getting runners in, and the boys were playing some ball, and that's something that has to happen on the field. You can verbalize it all you want, but at some point it has to become actionable. But having a meeting like that where the leaders speak up and the veterans speak up is a step in that direction because we're acknowledging that we're not doing those things and we need to get back to it.
You mentioned the coaching, and I think when an offense is performing the way you guys are right now and really have for the entirety of the season this point in time, folks outside the organization look at the players first and foremost, but then they also start looking maybe at the hitting coaches and the philosophy in terms of the organization when it comes to that. You still have plenty of confidence in where your approach is as an organization and with the hitting coaches in place right now?
I do. I mean, we've known these guys for a lot of years. They've done a wonderful job. I mean, two of the three that are in the trenches every day, we're with these guys going through the minor leagues. They've built relationships. They have trust in each other. Players have trust in them. They feel it just as much as the players do, and they want to, wave the magic wand and try to figure out what each guy needs. But really, it's just staying positive right now, understanding the history between the coaches and the players. And the reminders. Nobody knows our current hitters as well as the guys in our batting cages every day. I mean, they live with them every day. They understand their swings. They understand what makes them tick. And now it's just a matter of trying to tweak some things here and there, but also stay positive. You've got to stay positive through these tougher times. And I know we have the right guys that will stay positive, and they put the work in every day. I can tell you this. Today in Texas is not going to look any different than last year in Texas as far as the energy and the positivity and our processes. But now the challenge is a little bit greater because the confidence, is wavering a little bit. But all it takes is one little good run offensively to get that confidence back, and you just go play baseball.
We're talking to J.J. Piccolo, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals. So with that said, there's some reports out there that you guys are looking for some outfield help. Now, that isn't just because the trade deadline's the end of July, and obviously it could be an active one late, doesn't mean that moves won't happen earlier, of course. So are you guys currently looking to add to this team still and be aggressive?
Yeah, well, I think we're just trying to monitor things. I mean, nobody seems to be very active right now. I know we had the big trade the other day, and that was a very unique trade for a lot of reasons. But, it doesn't seem like teams are actively shopping players right now. So you just keep evaluating things. And what we've tried to do is let's look internally. What do we have internally that maybe can pick us up a little bit? And it may not be the big bopper like, Devers being traded. But if we can add to our offense and improve on the margins, improve our defense, improve our base running, we're going to explore that first because there doesn't seem to be a market right now where there's an outfielder available. So guys are getting opportunities right now, whether it's John Rave, Jack Caglione, they're all getting opportunities to play. And then it gives us more time to evaluate who they are and how they can impact this team in 2025. So all that's coming into, our thoughts, our processes, and really until you get somebody that is, clearly going to be trading an outfielder, we can talk about all we want, but we can't force another team to make a trade.
Understand your positioning, of course, in the standings can change drastically from this week to 3 weeks from now, but when you look outside the organization, though, and you at least try to maybe start those conversations, are you guys looking to make a deal or a player that can help you beyond 2025? Or is this an organization right now that's in a position that would still be willing to make a move if it only impacts 2025?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I guess the best way to answer it is the preference is always to have control. I mean, that more years of control certainly benefits your organization. But when it comes down to it, who are the pool of players that are actually going to be traded and what did their contracts look like? And when we get to that moment, I could better answer, if a rental player is all that's available. But you always set your sight, at least we do, on players that have more than a year of control. That was what we followed last year. Doesn't mean that's what we're going to do this year, but so much of it depends on the pool of players that are available that will help us shape that answer.
There's a report out within the last hour, so I hate to put you on the spot a little bit here, JJ, that Mark Healy had a report in the last hour and a half or so that he's hearing Royals ownership has, I guess, told you to start thinking about trading some veteran talent. I guess your reaction to that is have you had those conversations?
Unequivocally false. That is as false as can be, and the accountability of that writer should be in question.
As far as who makes the final call, is it in the front office with you, JJ, and the scouts? Is it ownership? As far as the direction, how often do you guys have those conversations? Like, all right, do we push all in? Do we kind of wait? Who kind of makes that decision?
Well, I mean, ultimately it'll be myself, along with ownership, their thoughts on the team. But it'll be myself. But if you sat with us over the last 3 games, from the first inning to the 4th inning to the 7th inning, the conversation kept shifting. The emotions of the game get you thinking different ways. But ultimately, it'll be baseball operations decision. And we always have good discussions with ownership, and just because we want them to be aware of what we're thinking and, collectively make a great decision.
That was JJ Piccolo earlier today. He was on the midday show. I highly encourage you to check out the full interview. If you want to check that out, it's on 96.5 The Fan, also the Odyssey app. If you want to hear that interview in its entirety, let me read a couple of text messages. Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, the Royals' only good stretch this season was because they beat up on bad competition and had unbelievable pitching that we are seeing was not sustainable. This is where I struggle with when it comes to criticism for the Royals. I'm not saying that the Royals' pitching is perfect, and they definitely have taken on some injuries over the last couple of weeks or so. Cole Reagans has not been healthy. Seth Lugo is not the same pitcher that he was last year. Yes, their pitching early on was unbelievable, and yes, that was not sustainable. They just had a homestand of 6 games, and they scored 11 runs. This offense isn't consistently giving you 2 runs a night. Like, I can only be so critical of the pitching when your offense pretty routinely just doesn't really put you in a position to win. The Royals have had back-to-back homestands in which they have lost a game 1-0. It's one thing to do that to the Cardinals. You're losing like that to the A's? You're getting beat like that by the Oakland A's? You're getting shut out? So, yes, the Royals starting pitching maybe isn't what it was in mid-April, early May. The problem continues to be the offense, and it's never not been the offense. I made this analogy earlier in the season. You're not beating teams consistently in the NFL 13-10, 10-7. That's not the way that it's built. The Royals, the only way that they've really shown they can consistently beat people is 2-1, 3-2. It's just really difficult to do on a night-in, night-out basis. And when you play teams like the Yankees, like they did this week, man, if you can't score 4, 5, 6 runs a night, you just don't have a chance of beating that kind of team. They got too many guys. They got Aaron Judge, and Stanton just came back from injury. They've got too many. You're not beating them like that. That's what the Royals tried to do in the postseason. And when the Yankees got to 4, that's just not really a game that the Royals are going to win. So I can only be so critical of the pitching when it is very obvious what their problem is, and it's their offense, and their offense just doesn't consistently give you a chance to win. I did notice something that JJ said. He mentioned a lot of positivity and the process. You guys are focused on the wrong P word. You guys need to be focused on production and productivity. That's what it's about at this point. You can talk to me about having a good attitude. And yes, having a good attitude is important. You guys are in a results-oriented business. Rob, you and I can come in here every day with good attitudes. We work in a ratings business. If you're in 13th place, they'll find somebody who can be productive and have a good attitude. That's how everybody's job works. So at some point, either it needs to be a potential turnover of the roster, or you got to start getting a new voice and try to get some of these guys back on track. I think we all agree for the most part that the Royals, they have some of the pieces offensively. You don't have the pieces offensively to be the best lineup in baseball, but you certainly have enough pieces to be, 18th in scoring. You got enough pieces to be middle of the pack. They're 29th. Every team in the American League has scored more runs than they have. The Rockies have scored more runs than them, and the Rockies are on pace to lose 130 games this year. There's no reason for the Royals offense to be as bad as they've been this season, given the pieces that they have.
I think you have to ask the following question, and maybe we're saying the same thing, we're just saying it differently. Because the major problem between last year's Royals and this year's Royals is either A, all the hitters that were good last year are just having really bad luck. Bobby is worse. Vinny, while being better of late, is worse. Salvi is worse. Like, the guys they are relying on to be big boppers outside of Garcia have all taken a step back. So the question you got to ask is it A, just bad luck? which I'm actually open to hearing that conversation because of their historically bad batting average with runners in scoring position. Like, it's almost comical how bad it is. Or they're all regressing at the exact same time. And if it's the second thing, if Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi all regressed in the exact same season, then someone needs to be held accountable. That's the P word I'm thinking about because you're right, it's productivity. And if the productivity is the lack of productivity is a product of, hey, just some dumb luck, then what the Royals are saying and preaching is correct. It's processed positivity. Eventually, luck changes. But if it's the product of, something is wrong, then someone needs to be held accountable for the wrongness. And I'm not saying it's Q. I'm not saying it's JJ. I'm not demanding John Sherman sell the team. But much like Mizzou, and we use the analogy all the time on the show, I think it was 2022, 2023, Tennessee ran wild on them. The D-line coach got fired the next day.
Immediately.
If you can't hit and your batting average with runners in scoring position is comically low, unless you truly believe it's bad luck, someone has to be held accountable for the lack of productivity.
Yeah, and to me, and you tell me if you disagree, are we doing this because we think it makes a difference, or is it something that will simply make the fans happy? Because sometimes you got to do that in this business. Sometimes the mob is asking for you to give them something, so you got to give somebody away. And if it is the hitting coach, if it is one day you were driving and you get a notification from MLB.com that the Royals have fired their hitting coach, and that makes you happy as a fan, good. But do we think that their problem is a hitting coach issue? I don't know if it's a hitting coach issue. Now, on the flip side, how many bats have they developed? How many guys can you say based on this hitting coach, oh, okay, I see. So that's a very fair point. But some of this, I think, was kind of obvious to see. All of us saw, hey, you guys need to go get an outfielder. Oh, well, we couldn't. I mean, we tried. We did our best. Okay, all right. Doesn't matter if you tried. You don't have it. You now need it. Their leading outfielder has 3 home runs. It's the middle of June. You have no pop in the outfield. Your best player is 15% worse than last year. Your catcher is starting to show signs of age for the first time. So, I mean, if we go back and we look at their opening day lineup, we thought that was a team that was going to score a lot of runs this year. So I hear what you're saying. And if the Royals fire their hitting coach, I'm certainly not going to feel bad for them. I mean, your team is 29th in runs scored. Your team is not productive offensively, and this is a big boy $1 million a year job. You aren't good enough at it, so if they got rid of you. But I'm a big believer that this is a player issue. Either they don't have the right talent on this team, or guys are simply not executing. And if I'm looking at their lineup, it seems like it should be a lot better than what it is. You like their 1 through 6. This team is not just losing because of 7, 8, 9. No, this team is losing as a collective. This team is losing from start to finish. They scored 11 runs in their 6-game homestand. You're not consistently scoring 2 runs a night. You're going to get beat by just about anybody, and they got beat pretty handedly this past week. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll get to the NBA. You guys remember a couple of games ago, Stephen A. Smith, he got caught playing solitaire. He has now addressed that. We'll play for you what he had to say. We'll also talk about Game 5 yesterday as the Thunder take a 3-2 lead in that series over the Pacers. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. So drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Guys, are you looking for a Father's Day gift that will give Dad the extra boost of health and energy he needs to live his best life? The Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and free T-test as a special offer celebrating dads. Treatment is personalized to you and most major insurance is accepted. And with the freedom to choose in-care center or at-home treatment, you're helping put Dad back in control of his health. From now until the 21st, enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty?
What about guarantees?
A lifetime warranty should handle that. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Hi, folks. Bob at Blue Springs Ford. Blayton, you look like you have something to say.
I do. It's our free lifetime powertrain warranty. That includes 24-hour, 7 days a week, every day of the year for 10 years, roadside assistance.
Well, that was a mouthful.
We're talking towing, fuel, oil, water delivery to you, lockout assistance, battery service, flat tire support, emergency assistance.
Folks, if you don't come see us today,
then you'll miss out on our free lifetime warranty.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Alex, hello.
We've been trying to track you down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you have any idea why?
Something to do with the radio thing.
Every month we're doing a giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Giveaway? What you giving away, man?
$25,000.
Alex Jackson of Pensacola, Florida is the latest winner of Give Me the Vin's big cash giveaway.
Are you for real?
Every time that you sell a car to Give Me the Vin, you go into a drawing for that month. And dude, you won.
That's great, man. I'm having a baby boy in about 3 months. That's a lot of diapers, man.
Name him John Clay.
Okay.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This afternoon, expect a high of 86 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Welcome back into the drive. Coming up at the top of the hour, Denny Matthews is going to be on the show. Really happy to catch up with the Royals Hall of Fame broadcaster, Denny Matthews. All right, there was some controversy a couple of days ago Believe it was game 4 of the NBA Finals, and someone caught Stephen A. Smith on his phone playing solitaire. Now, you guys know how the internet works. They posted this. At first, Stephen A. Smith said this was during a timeout. They were like, wait, no, that's not the case. They then showed the full video. The game is going on, and Stephen A. Smith is right there on his phone playing solitaire. Well, earlier today, he was on Sirius XM, and he was asked about it, and here is what Stephen A. Smith had to say about playing the very popular card game during the NBA Finals.
I was doing what the hell I always do, and for those out there who don't like it, kiss my ass. When I'm watching the game, I'm watching the game. If there's a break in the action, it could be a dead ball, it could be a timeout or something like that. I can play the damn thing for 2 seconds. Somebody is standing over me, upper deck, zooming in on my phone, watching me and saying, "Oh, he's playing solitaire. He's not focusing on the game." I watch over 100 games a year. I'm on TV every morning for 2 hours, 10 hours live every day. And that's just one job. That don't count Countdown. That don't count Sports Center. That don't count all the obligations that I have. And I'm sitting there and getting a little break, and I decide to play a little solitaire, which, by the way, I always do. And I mean always. If I sit up there, if there's halftime, I might go on my phone for 2 minutes and play solitaire. At the end of the game, before a game, I do the same thing. Damn it, if you had a little break in between, I might have been praying it again because I like the game.
All right. This is the thing. And I like Stephen A. I really do. I like Stephen A. And I believe that a lot of us have this kind of activity. You're just kind of sitting there. You want a little bit of a mental break. That's turned into TikTok for me. Just a quick little 2-3 minutes. I watch a little bit of it, and then I get back to what I need to do. So I understand what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I do. I really get it. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, my bad, man. That's on me. I should have done a better job paying attention. That's all you got to say. Stephen A., we know you're on TV all the time. We see it. We see it. We know you're on First Take. We know you do Sunday NBA Countdown. We know you do all of these things. I feel like every time Stephen A. is kind of backed up into the corner, he starts to run down his resume for us. Bro, that ain't what we talking about. You're the highest paid employee at ESPN, and you're playing games on your phone during the NBA Finals, a game in which you are being paid to be there to give us your thoughts and opinions on the game. For a moment there, we caught you. You weren't watching the game. All you got to do is say, hey, my bad, man. Y'all right, they got me. Have a little fun with it. Laugh at yourself. I feel like in all of these controversies, there is a common theme. Stephen A., maybe he's just gotten too big, so successful, he can't laugh at himself from time to time. This is a minor thing. It's a 48-minute game. It's a 3-hour stretch. Sure, you played solitaire you missed one bucket. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It looks bad, but have a little bit of fun with it. We don't got you to run through your resume every time, bro. It ain't that big of a deal. Now we got to kiss your backside because you was playing solitaire during the game. It's silly. It's nonsense to me. Hey, my bad, man. That's on me. I messed up. You're right, man. Hey, y'all got me. Hey, that was funny. That was good. Hey, I'm going to be better next time. I do love solitaire, though. There was a way to play this a little bit more fun, a little bit more tongue-in-cheek than this. Stephen A., I want better for you. That's number one. Number two, now I know he's dealing with an injury, and I get that. And that is part of why he played so poorly yesterday. What in the world was Tyrese Halliburton doing? You couldn't help yesterday. You played 34 minutes. You made as many shots as Rob and I, and we didn't play in the game. You had 4 points. Tyrese Halliburton, playing as poorly as he played yesterday, gave the Pacers very little chance of winning. And you know what? That's okay. This is what made me mad about yesterday. TJ McConnell got them back in the game. I don't know what got into TJ McConnell, but I'm telling you, in that third quarter, he couldn't miss. Everything he threw up went in the net. He's doing up and under scoop moves, hitting threes. I thought we were watching 06 Kobe Bryant yesterday for the Indiana Pacers. It felt like it in the third quarter. I've never seen a team have a guy that was cooking the way that he was. I'm talking about Benihana. I mean, hibachi grill, cooking. Then he just didn't play basically in the fourth quarter. He didn't play again until the game was wrapped up. Instead, Tyrese Halliburton is out there clearly hobbled, clearly limited, and can't help you on either side of the ball. I understand you got to dance with the girl that brought you here, but part of it, you just got to have the awareness, hey, big dog, it's not your night. You hadn't made a shot. You don't have the same abilities. Hey, why don't we shut it down for the day? We'll get you back in the trainer room. We'll try to get you ready for game 6. This could be our last game of the season. I thought that Indiana completely mismanaged the fourth quarter of that game. There was no reason to sit TJ McConnell for basically all of the fourth quarter. Certainly the parts that mattered, especially when, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 30 yesterday, and Jalen Williams, he looked like Kawhi Leonard back with the San Antonio Spurs. He was doing everything. He looked like Scottie Pippen in 92. He was playing great defense. He's blocking shots. He's getting down the court. He's dunking. He had 40 yesterday. He's knocking down threes. He was a man that did a little bit of everything yesterday. You needed more firepower. You needed more punch. And Tyrese Halliburton, your all-star, your Olympian, the guy who has got you here, he wasn't your best player yesterday. The sixth man off the bench, TJ McConnell, that was your best option yesterday to win the game, and they decided to roll with their normal rotation and what got them at least to the NBA Finals, and I thought they really mismanaged the final 12 minutes of the game.
I told you yesterday, and you were like, I don't know, I see it that way, Rob, but I told you yesterday, I don't think Rick Carlisle has had a very good series. I don't think he's been a bumbling idiot. I don't think he is out there with, blinders on, just unaware of what's happening in the basketball game, but I don't think he was very good in game 4, and he wasn't good again last night. Everyone watching on television, everyone watching the game, except for Stephen A., everyone noticed, hey, Halliburton ain't right. And I assume the medical personnel who are sitting on your bench are also telling you this. TJ McConnell is playing better right now. Maybe you have to manage his minutes. Maybe you give Halliburton a quick burst to give, McConnell a little break. That's coaching. I get it. But you are closer to the situation than anyone. You're getting the stat sheet every TV timeout. You're hearing from the medical people. You're looking down the bench and seeing Tyrese Halliburton. You can speak to Tyrese Halliburton. You didn't know that he wasn't right. You didn't know that he's not good to go for the fourth. You're not thinking, oh, he's going to break out when he has 0 buckets heading into the final quarter of Game 5 of the NBA Finals. And by the way, I will fully admit, I'll go anti-Stephen A. Smith here. I thought at halftime that game was done. And I started doing other stuff. And then I saw on social media, the Pacers made a run in the third quarter, and I came back.
It got down to a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. The Pacers made the game very, very interesting.
But it was non-Halliburton, and then we went right back to Halliburton for some reason.
All you need to know about the NBA Finals, you don't have to have watched a second of the NBA Finals. All you need to know is that Johnny Furphy made more baskets in the game than Tyrese Halliburton. That's all you need to know. You don't need to, honestly, look up any other stat. Johnny Furphy, who I forgot was a basketball player, hadn't heard from him, hadn't seen him in a very long time. I was like, hey, I know that guy. I was like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Hey, I remember him. Who should probably still be at Kansas, by the way, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. KU might actually won the Big 12 last year. They had a little Johnny Furphy action. Would have got them certainly a guy that could score off the bench. Would have got them a little wing option. He made more baskets yesterday than Tyrese Halliburton. It explains why the Pacers lost by 11 yesterday. This game was winnable. And the Pacers, to me, have left a couple of opportunities on the table. They left game 4 on the table when they had Oklahoma City up against the ropes. They got this to a 2-point game in the fourth quarter, and they decided to go with Tyrese Halliburton, and I get it. Tyrese Halliburton played 34 minutes yesterday. He needed to play like 23 minutes yesterday, and you needed to give those minutes to TJ McConnell. I mean, he played 22 minutes yesterday. He scored 18 points. I mean, he was phenomenal yesterday, carried you in the third quarter. I really thought they mishandled and mismanaged the final 12 minutes of the game. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews. We'll get his thoughts on this past week with the Royals. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers in more than 25 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. See why they're KC's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, remember, you see the best in KC.
Tiger, Dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
No one likes having to choose. That's why with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid with America's best warranty. Or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe Hybrid with power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too. You know, if you could drive a cake. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories. And the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
The Out of Options Podcast, with new episodes released every Tuesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews, joins us on the show today. Denny, happy to have you join us today.
Hi, Carrington. Glad to be here.
Let's just kind of recap the week just a little bit. I want to start here. I went to the game on Tuesday for Jack Caglione Day at the K, and it turned into Aaron Judge hits the longest home run that I've ever seen day. I've never heard a sound like that before. I've never seen a ball leave a ballpark as fast as what I saw Aaron Judge do.
Yeah, when you're that big and that good, you're going to see and hear things like that. And unfortunately, he was wearing the wrong uniform when it happened.
And your call on it was just so good. You know, you have such a great feel for the game that you instantly knew, yeah, that ball's out of here.
Yeah, there was no part of that swing or the contact or the flight that was not going to be a long home run. I mean, yeah, all the elements were there, and the only one I could think of any longer or just about as long was the Johnny Bench home run in the All-Star game back in the 70s. And there was a concession stand out there to the left as you look away from the field, away from home plate. There was a concession stand deep in the left field corner. And Bench hooked it high and deep and on top of the concession stand. And at that point in time, that was easily the longest home run ever seen at Kauffman Stadium, which I will point out wasn't very old at that point. I think only in its first or second year. But, yeah, that was a memorable one, and so was the one the Judge hit.
Denny, what do you think has gone so wrong for the Royals? Because this was a team that, you know, they got a hot streak, you know, probably a month ago. You know, they had that stretch toward the end of April and early part of May where the Royals were on fire. They got up to 24-16, and now they have stopped treading water, and they've kind of taken on a little bit of water. They're 4 games under 500. They're double-digit games back in the division. Where do you think things turned for this team?
Well, it's pretty obvious, I think, let's examine the first 2.5 months. It's been very inconsistent. They've had a period of time where they played very well, pitched well, hit with opportunity and precision, and there have been times where they couldn't get out of their own way. The pitching pretty well carried the team to this point, but now the pitching is wobbling a little bit, and the offense still hasn't really established itself as a viable factor in the games, and that hurts. And the defense has remained, I think, good, real good, but it's been the situational hitting, and now it's the pitching, especially the starting rotation, which has seen its share of injuries and upheaval. So, yeah, a lot of things you can point to, but I think the biggest factor is just the inconsistencies from either red hot to ice cold, but not a whole lot in between.
Yeah, for a team to score 11 runs over a 6-game homestand, I think kind of speaks for itself that, you know, you're usually the patience person. You're normally give it some time. Baseball is a sample-size game. You can't overreact to something that happens in a 1 or 2 game stretch. I mean, we're here at the middle of the summer, and we've been asking these same questions about the offense this entire time. I'm just starting to wonder if we already have the answers to these questions. We just don't like what the answers are.
Well, that's perhaps we'll find out now in the next month and a half, 2 months. But you have to really file away what's happened to this point. And after a tough homestand, you got a day off so you can regroup and wipe the slate clean and start anew tonight. Now you're starting a tough road trip. Texas is a 500 team, so the Royals certainly should compete with that. San Diego's a good team, and both games will be, or all the games on this two-city road trip are going to be on the road. So, yeah, it's going to be a test, but what isn't in Major League Baseball, whether you're home or away, every game's going to be competitive for the most part. Every team is going to be able to beat you if you don't bring your A game.
Right now, we're talking to the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews, joins us on the show. Denny, I already knew the Royals were in trouble, but when I start hearing that they had a players-only meeting, I mean, that's really the sign. Like, if we were doing your team is in trouble bingo for a baseball team, having a players-only meeting, you know, that might be certainly on the board. That is usually not a good sign for how things have gone.
I think that's pretty accurate, and when the players get involved and not the management, then they have recognized that they're falling short, and let's get together as players. The manager, the coaches, front office have nothing to do once first pitch is thrown with what the outcome is going to be. So, yeah, it's on the players, and they recognize that, and they had a down-to-earth meeting, and what will come of it, well, we'll find out. I mean, one game is not going to really reflect what kind of an impact that might have had, but the road trip will tell a pretty good story, I think.
Yeah, that was something that we talked about yesterday on the show is I understand that fans are frustrated with this thing or fans are frustrated with the hitting coach or the manager or a lineup decision or a bullpen decision. If there's going to be change in the Royals, it has to be led by on the field. When you think about the stories that we've heard about the 14 and 15 Royals, it was always kind of player-driven. It was Moose giving a speech. It was Raul Ibanez. It was more player-driven. I mean, this is a team that offensively, at this point, there's only one team in baseball that they have scored more runs than. The Rockies have scored more runs than the Royals this year, and the Rockies might be the worst team that we've seen certainly over the last 50 years or so. If the Royals are going to turn this thing around, it's not going to come from the front office. It's going to come from the guys on the field just simply executing better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the players, period. And the manager makes the lineup. The coaches prepare the players, and they're out there so early. And they really are attendant to every detail, offense, defense, pitching. The coaches are very involved. But, again, first pitch, they're out of it. They have very little control from that point on. The manager can make some moves within the game, but the players have to put themselves and the team in a position where the manager doesn't have to manage as much as he might if they're down 2 runs in the 8th inning and shuffle the lineup. And, yeah, it's the players. And if they don't get the job done, the record is going to be what it is.
This feels like, in a lot of ways, kind of the low point of the season. I'm trying to remember the last time it kind of felt this way to cheer for the Royals. You're right. Losing to the Yankees is one thing. The Yankees might be the best team in baseball, certainly in the conversation. You might say the Tigers. Maybe you'll say the Dodgers or the Giants. They're certainly in the conversation. But to lose a home series to the Athletics and to get swept by the Athletics, who had lost 14 consecutive road games before coming to Kansas City, that has to be the low point for this collection of Royals players, certainly in quite some time.
I would agree with that. And, yeah, you expect the Yankees to be very good, and they are, and they were in the 3-game series. But Athletics are not one of the premier teams, not close, and you would expect to win 2 out of 3 at least. And when you don't win any of the 3 games, yeah, that's very alarming.
And I'm also disappointed, too, Denny, is, the fans, I thought, did their part in this series. They got 30,000 people out there for Jack Caglione Day. They averaged 28,000 over this homestand. They got close to 30 on Friday and Saturday. They had Bobby Witt bobblehead doll on Saturday. Alex Gordon Day was on Friday. The fans kind of did their part, and to lay such an egg when you had those kind of crowds is just disappointing to see.
Yeah, I agree. The fans were very enthusiastic. They were very supportive. They did their part. That's all they can do. They can sit there and try to urge the guys to play better and whatever it takes. But, again, it goes back to those 9 guys on the field, and if they don't respond, why, the fans will sit there and all their enthusiasm will begin to wane in the late innings if the team's behind by 5 or 6 runs, and then you see them head for the exits. But, no, the fans were great throughout the entire 6-game homestand.
That is Denny Matthews, the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, joining us on the show today as the Royals get back to action coming up later today. They got 3 games in Texas, 3 games in San Diego this week for the Royals. Denny, great stuff as always. Love catching up with you.
Same to you, Carrington. Always fun.
Absolutely. That is Denny Matthews joining us on the show today. You can catch the Royals coming up later today right here on 96.5 The Fan. It does feel like we are at a very critical juncture right now for the Kansas City Royals. I mean, it has been a really bad 10-day stretch for the Royals. I call it Meet the Parents syndrome. If you remember in the movie Meet the Parents, from the moment we meet Greg Fokker, everything went wrong. From start to finish, everything went wrong. That's kind of been the Royals for the last 10 days. They lost the series to the White Sox. They come back home. They lose on Jack Caglione Day. We find out that Cole Reagans is going to go on the IL for the 3rd time. They get swept by the A's. If you can think of worst case scenario over the last 10 days, oh, trust me, it has happened to the Kansas City Royals. This is a really important next 2-week stretch. We feel like we've said this a lot, but this is a really important 2-week stretch. I just think that you were in danger of losing a lot of people. You don't make yearly commitments to the FanDuel Sports Network. If this team is losing in July, I think a lot of people are just saying, I'm not paying for that anymore. Hey, I was locked in. The All-Star break is coming up. I'm going on vacation anyway in July. Next thing you know, you'll look up, it'll be football season anyway. Like, that's what we're talking about now. They got 2 road series. They come back home. They got Tampa Bay, and then they play the Dodgers for, what could be one of the more popular series of the year. This just feels like a fork in the road for the Kansas City Royals. What are they going to do? What's going to happen? What's next for this organization? All right, coming up on the other side, there is a conversation that I really want the people of the Kansas City metropolitan area to let go. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
It's the spring sales event at Rob Sight Ford, and I'm here with the man himself, Rob Sight. Rob, you already stole the spotlight. Now what are you trying to take?
Just your attention, Kevin, and maybe a few trade-ins. Now, we've got up to $14,000 off new Fords with employee pricing, plus our own dealer discount.
$14,000. That's hotter than your Sunday barbecue.
Exactly. And unlike your burgers, these deals won't dry out. We've got hard-to-find inventory, huge trade-in values, and our non-commissioned sales team makes everything so easy.
No pressure, just real help. Even I'll admit it, it's the best place in Kansas City to buy a car, and I don't hand out compliments lightly, or seconds.
That's a fact. And don't forget, we're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and 0 grill marks.
All right, Rob, I'll give it to you, man. You're cooking up some real value over there.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit robsight.com. But hurry, these deals are sizzling and inventory's moving fast.
And tell him Rob sent you. No guarantees, but he might throw in a hot dog.
One of my favorite things to do at Hy-Vee is saving money on gas. And this weekend, I'm in luck. This Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd, earn a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 grocery purchase at Hy-Vee. And Hy-Vee isn't just saving us money at the pump. They're lowering prices in every department. And on top of that, you can save on fuel as well. So this weekend, stock up for summer and stack up those fuel savings this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Nothing tastes better than sweet summer corn or a juicy ripe watermelon. Indulge yourself in the fresh taste of summer this Thursday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. We're rolling back prices on your favorite produce like sweet corn, 4 for $1, avocados just 69 cents, seedless grapes 99 cents a pound, candy cantaloupe $1.99, and russet potato 5-pound bags just $1.48. Stock up on all the juicy deals during the mega produce sale this Thursday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
If severe weather hit you last year, don't worry, Century Roofing is here. We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements to celebrate our 35th anniversary. We'll provide an in-depth inspection to determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim with your insurance company. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Trusted Pillars of Strength, KC-based and female-owned. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Renner Garage Door has proudly served KC for nearly 70 years. Get your free estimate today, RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
A multi-car crash westbound 70 at Little Blue Parkway. 2 left lanes closed. And just outside of downtown, northbound 71, got some debris in the roadway just past 22nd Street, also stopping traffic. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Really excited to be here with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Coming up in about an hour or so, Josh Vernier will join us. Really excited to catch up with him and get his thoughts on the Kansas City Royals. If you missed it, the top story is that Trey Smith was at practice today. He has signed his franchise tag, but I guess technically he doesn't have to show up. The Chiefs could simply waive the fines for him missing mandatory practice, but I think you have to feel encouraged. He is there. I don't think he really has to be there at this point in the season. He didn't have to sign his franchise tag. He has done both of those things. I think this is a very positive sign that he and the Chiefs are moving forward, and at some point here in the next 4 or 5 weeks or so, we are going to see that he signs a long-term extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones was asked about it, who certainly knows about being franchise tagged and certainly knows about a contract holdout. He was asked about Trey Smith being at practice today.
Well, it's good Trey didn't take my approach.
Trey doing the right thing, man. Don't take no advice from me. Like, I did things a little different. Don't take no advice from me. Trey, you're in a good place. Franchise tag is like $25 million, right? That's the big bucks. Yeah, he's in a good place. Stay healthy. Be ready to compete in training camp, which I know Trey will be, and we're excited to have him around. I think the future plans for the Chiefs is to have Trey around. He's a pivotal part of our offensive line. To have him back out here, he's a superior guard in this league. Could be all pro this year. His body of work speaks for itself. So we're glad to have him back out. Brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, and it's a good way for us to compete on the defensive line.
That was Chris Jones earlier today out at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs are these are the final 3 days of really the offseason portion. It is mandatory minicamp, but different than the training camp, the team cannot waive the training camp fines. That's why it was a big deal whenever Chris Jones wasn't there. They can waive these fines. So it could be a situation with if Trey Smith wasn't there, hey, we'll resolve this on the back end whenever I sign the contract. Can you guys just remove the $45,000 in fines? We'd have to think that the Chiefs in that scenario would simply agree. We don't need to have that conversation because he has showed up, he is there. This also isn't a hold in. This isn't him just showing up and saying, my back, I will get treatment, I'm here, but I'm not going to practice. No, he is on the field, he is performing. You would like to think that this is a very positive sign for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get back to that coming up in a bit, but there is a conversation that I would love for the great people of the Kansas City metropolitan area to let go. Now, this topic used to be, do you want the Royals to have a downtown stadium? Now it seems like that is a possibility. We are less than 2 weeks away from the Star Bonds expiring in Kansas, so maybe we'll get some news here. Who knows when that could possibly be? But in the same vein of the downtown stadium is just one of those summer topics that you can just dust off and always get the timeline shaking. The other one is, do you want Kansas City to have an NBA or an NHL team? Well, that conversation is heated back up because Paul Pierce, Jayhawk legend, he says that Kansas City needs an NBA team.
You know what city need a team? Kansas City. If Kansas City get a team, that crowd, something like that. Something like that.
Love basketball.
Yeah, when they like right there.
Love basketball.
Midwest love basketball.
They do.
I don't know why Kansas City don't have a team no more. Like you see how the Chiefs is.
Go take it to K.
Kansas, we the basketball. We the pros.
Every time I bring up the
Jayhawks, KU.
All right. I mean, I can play an audio cut for you guys where Bill Self says he doesn't believe that an NBA team will work in Kansas City because the Jayhawks are so popular. He doesn't think that this area can support an NBA team and also the Kansas Jayhawks. The other part of this is, let it go. This is like Tony in Rocky 2 when he's talking to Apollo Creed. Let it go. I know what you're feeling. Let it go. We're not getting an NBA team. They're talking about expansion. They ain't expanding to Kansas City. They're going to expand to Vegas. They're going to expand to Seattle. What about the NBA would let you believe that they want another small market team? Now, you can win a championship. Oklahoma City might win a championship. Either them or the Pacers. Certainly not big, large markets. But you think the NBA is adding Louisville? You think that? No. I think we're real close to all the cities that need either an NFL team or an NBA team. Vegas will certainly get an NBA team, and the NBA has been clamoring to go back to Seattle since they moved to Oklahoma City. Now, they'll have to move the league around if you're going to add 2 teams to the Western Conference, and they'll move, I don't know, Minnesota will probably get moved to the East. Memphis will probably get moved to the East. We'll figure that out when we get there. Kansas City is not in the conversation for expansion. They're not. I don't even know, honestly, if there was a vote to get it passed, I don't know if it would pass. Now, maybe they end up funding it the way that they funded the Sprint Center. We don't pay the taxes on the Sprint Center. I guess in some ways we do. You have to be somebody that rents a car. If you rent a car, there's a tax that goes towards the Sprint Center. So, I mean, maybe if that's what they do, and I'm imagining at some point, the Sprint Center will need a little bit of upgrade, a little bit of refreshing, and then they'll, come up with a different way to help pay for it. But, I mean, They barely want to give the Royals some money. They voted down giving the Chiefs some money. They're now going to sign up for a professional basketball team? Just not buying it, not believing it. Rob, are there a lot of cities that are Kansas City size that have 3 professional sports teams? Like, we can obviously think of cities that are that case, but Kansas City is what, the 32nd, 37th, somewhere in that range? It's somewhere in the 30s. We're talking about media market size. Is there a city that's comparable to Kansas City that has 3 professional sports teams and, more importantly, has 2 in the winter? We're talking about this at the same time as the NFL. I don't know if there's many cities that Kansas City size that has 3 professional sports teams.
Is the only other answer Charlotte? Because Charlotte has the Hurricanes for hockey. They have the Hornets for basketball, and they have the Panthers. Now, I don't know how big Charlotte is. I mean, I think it's similar to Kansas City, but it's possible Charlotte is bigger. But that, you asked the question of, is there a city similar size to Kansas City that carries 3? The only one I could think of was Charlotte. So maybe there's one, but like, that's kind of it. That's the only one in that sphere I can think of, unless I'm just missing one, but I don't think that has 3.
Yeah, no, you're right. I just looked it up. I just looked up media market size because someone else just texted in, what about Minnesota, Minneapolis? Minnesota is 16th in media market size. Kansas City is 33rd. Charlotte is 21st. Like, that's a noticeable difference. All of that kind of stuff matters. And then you start to think about the media markets that are around Kansas City. Austin is one of them. Columbus, Ohio is 35. Greenville, Asheville, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, West Palm Beach. Start to think about the cities that are around them in terms of media market size. For the Kansas City to have a football team that has been very successful, not just like on the field. Like, people go to Chiefs games. They are very, very relevant. They have been very relevant for quite some time. And a baseball team, there's just not a lot of markets that are in that vicinity that have both of those things. I mean, Cincinnati would probably be the closest one, but Cincinnati also just has 2. They have a football team and a baseball team. They don't have all 3. I don't know if Kansas City has enough population to be able to service all 3 of those things and 2 of them at the exact same time. And to the college basketball point, also support Kansas, the Chiefs, and whatever NBA team. I don't know if there's enough people that live here to do all of those things simultaneously.
Also, you're right. This is a staple of the summer in Kansas City. Which would you rather have? NBA, NHL? At some point, some other team in some other community is going to use Kansas City as leverage to get a new arena there for their hockey or their basketball team. But I feel like the 2 conversations we always forget to have when we have this conversation every summer are this. 1, does the people who run the T-Mobile Center want a full-time tenant? Because I would bet you they don't. They seem very happy with the fact there's 200-plus nights a year where they can do whatever they want in that building, and they're not, they don't have an anchor tenant. And 2, is there any interest of an ownership group in Kansas City? Is there some local billionaire who's clamoring to get a team in? Which what happened basically in Oklahoma City. Seattle's ownership group was like, we're done here, and they wanted to move to Oklahoma. I forget the man's name, something Bennett, had a connection to Oklahoma in his past.
Clay Bennett,
thank you. Had a connection to Oklahoma in his past, brought the team there. Is there some billionaire who loves basketball who's clamoring to bring a team to Kansas City? So these conversations are fun. They're fantastic on June 17th, but I don't think the Sprint Center wants an anchor tenant, NHL or NBA, and I don't think the NBA has an ownership group that has any interest in putting a team in Kansas City. They can, realistically afford to buy an NBA franchise.
A lot of people are mentioning Cleveland as a possibility. Cleveland is actually 19th in terms of media market size. They are right behind Miami and a little bit ahead of Sacramento and Charlotte. Kansas City is 33rd on the list. Now, maybe that's just a bad way of looking at it, and I can live with that part, but I'm just not sure if Kansas City is big enough to support all of those things. And it just seems like the NBA, NHL conversation that we get to. I don't think the NBA has any plan in moving to Kansas City. And hockey-wise, I just feel like that opportunity passed when they were building the Sprint Center. They kind of dangled the opportunity of getting the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't really think it was ever real. I think they played Kansas City. I think they played Kansas City to get what they wanted from the place that they actually wanted it from and use that to stay and improve their facilities. We've been having this conversation for 20 years, and we've never really come close since then in getting one of those teams. I'm just not really sure how realistic of a conversation that is. All right, Rob, I want to play a game with you very, very quickly. There are really no rules to this game, but I would call it a game all the same. Things are not going well for the Royals right now. They're struggling. What are usually some signs that you can start to pick up on that you know a team is starting to struggle? Because having a team meeting is usually a sign that things are not going well. You don't really hear a lot of team meeting conversation when things are going good. I'm not saying that teams don't meet when they are winning, but we haven't heard over the last 5 years, hey, after the Chiefs win, they had a meeting to talk about how things are going. Things are just going great. We're winning. We're going to Super Bowls. We're dating superstars and pop stars. Things are going really well. I can't remember the last time that we discussed a Chiefs meeting. The Royals just had a meeting on Saturday and then turned around and then lost again. A team meeting is usually a sign. It might be the free space of, hey, things aren't really going that hot for your team. Whenever your general manager starts shooting down trade rumors, usually a sign that things are not going well. I mean, almost immediately after this losing streak, you then get the report from outsiders. Now, I looked up this person. I think his name is Mark Healy. Mark Healy works for the Associated Press. He's done work with SiriusXM and been a baseball writer for 30 years. I don't think that Mark Healy just woke up one day and decided to make up a rumor about the Kansas City Royals. I just don't really think that's how the business works. I know people believe that there's this clickbait all the time. The Royals really ain't the team to be generating the clickbait with. I'm imagining somebody told him this. Now, sometimes you can get misinformation. That happens. But I don't think that the writer that wrote that article just one day decided to, I'm going to make up a story about Royals management. I also think that the Royals should be having those conversations. Now, I don't believe that it is a directive from the owner, hey, you need to start trading off pieces. But if you're not having that conversation after the homestand that you just had, looking at your record, looking at your ability to win your division and the wild card race, I would say you are not doing your job correctly. You should be willing to have all of these conversations. What does it look like if we buy? What does it look like if we sell? What does it look like if we don't make a move this season and just try to ride this thing out to the end of the year? That's part of the job description. So the fact that the Royals came out so emphatically and were so defensive and wanting to tell us that this was fake, to me kind of answers, well, I actually think there's something to it that they were having this conversation. Usually teams will just kind of let that just linger out in the air. Like, what does it matter? We're not talking about this came from a Ken Rosenthal. That has come from a Jeff Passan. This came from a baseball reporter that many of you don't know. They were emphatic in trying to shut this down. That is usually a sign that things are not going well. You know what else is? The anonymous story about a bad locker room chemistry. We've seen this story a million times. It's usually written by ESPN. Somebody like a Seth Wickersham writes a story. You get that story in The Athletic about how Bobby Wood Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino don't like each other and have been hanging out a whole lot. You just get this anonymous story, the what is going wrong or the what went wrong story. That is a staple after a major trade or a big losing streak. That fuels the industry when it comes to it. These are just some of the things that you usually can pick up on of, hey, this is normally the sign that you have hit rock bottom. This is when things are going poorly. Rob, what else will we add on this list? What else are things that happen when you are playing the way the Royals are currently playing?
I usually get a conversation about how ownership, management, and the coach aren't seeing eye to eye. That's usually one of them. I mean, think about the teams we've seen in peril. Well, it turns out the GM and coach don't get along. You didn't know that until things were bad. That's another, usually it's The Athletic that drops a piece. Hey, there was always turmoil between person X and person. The Texans had this. It was Nick Caserio, I believe that's the guy's name, and Bill O'Brien never got along. It led to a power struggle, and we've come to this point. Remember the Nuggets?
We love a good power struggle
Remember when
story.
the Nuggets fired their GM and coach? Turns out Mike Malone and the GM never got along. It's like, wait a second, they won a title 18 months ago.
We always do. You are right. We always get those stories whenever somebody gets fired. We always do get those stories of how two people just didn't like each other, and that's why the person got fired. We do get that. That is a staple of, hey, something went wrong there.
Finally, the last one I can think of real quick is star player and person in management don't speak. remember, we were wrong. I'll fully admit I was wrong. Before last season, I was selling Eagle stock because what was the story coming out of Philadelphia? Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts just don't get along. They don't seem to see eye to eye. They weren't speaking for a portion of the offseason. Whenever a star player and the coach or anyone in management have some sort of beef, that story usually leaks out. Hey, can you believe so-and-so didn't like so-and-so? Well, yeah, that's not surprising to me. So he had to get run out of there. Yeah, that's why he got fired. It's star player doesn't see eye to eye or doesn't talk or communicate with person in charge. That's another staple of the broken organization.
All right, I have one that is going to one up everything that you have said so far. Complaining about the play calling is the equivalent of let's fire the hitting coach or the pitching coach. Whenever you start calling into sports talk radio and complaining about the play calling and the offensive coordinator, it's normally a sign that things are going really, really poorly. Those are just the easiest things to, hey, we want you to do something. You know, I want you guys to do a move that makes me feel better about the way things are going. We know you're not going to get rid of your best player. We know you're not going to fire your manager, but that guy over there, I want you to get rid of him. Fire him immediately. We go from not thinking that the offensive coordinator calls plays for the Chiefs to then being mad that that person's the offensive coordinator. That is a cycle. You guys used to hate Eric Bieniemy's play calling. Then Eric Bieniemy got out of here, and then Matt Nagy took off, and then you missed Eric Bieniemy all of a sudden. Nobody knows who the Royals hitting coach was 6 weeks ago. Now he's the problem, and they got to get rid of him. They got to fire him. Complaining about the play calling, also complaining about the hitting coach and or pitching coach is normally the sign that your season is slipping away. Someone just texted in, hey guys, what about the dreaded vote of confidence for management? Oh boy. When you get the vote of confidence for the management, you got to start cleaning out your office. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time when you get let go. When your boss comes out and says, oh, hey, no, he's doing a good job. No, we are not doing a good job. In fact, we are 5-9. I don't know why you think that we are doing a good job. In fact, then we are not. When you start to get that story, it's usually the sign that something's awry, something's a little bit off, and you are likely to get fired. The dreaded vote of confidence from the management. That's a good one. That should be on our something's going wrong bingo board.
I don't know if there's a baseball analogy for this, but benching the quarterback is always a staple. Now, I'm trying to think what the baseball analogy would be. So-and-so can't be the closer. You got to take so-and-so out of the closer role. Hey, you can't have this person in that role anymore. But changing the starting lineup in basketball, you got to tinker. And we just don't have the right 5 out there. But some sort of lineup or starting rotation or some sort of tinkering just for the sake of tinkering as you see a lot of. Hey, we have to shake it up because we're losing, and shaking it up will change all the problems. I mean, how many times have you heard, if we just started so-and-so, we would take off. And it's usually based, at least in football, on, he showed a little something in the preseason, so we got to get him out there.
I'm going to throw another one out there. Now, this is more of a fan thing than a team thing. The moment you start complaining and you just simply want a guy to show some fire or some emotion, things are going really poorly. You just want somebody to get a technical. You don't care who gets the technical. You just want somebody to get a technical. It'd make you feel better. You want the coach to yell at somebody, anybody. You don't care if he yells at a teammate. You don't care if he yells at another assistant coach. You don't care if he yells at the official. You just want the head coach or the manager to be mad about something. You want on that questionable ball or strike, you want Q to go out there and you want him to kick dirt on the umpire and get fired. Hey, you got to get a team. You got to get everybody fired up. It's usually a sign that things are going very, very poorly for your team. You guys would love it if today Matt Catraro got ejected in the second inning. The Royals give up a first early home run. You're thinking to yourself, oh, here we go. 1 run. They're not coming back from this. If he goes out there, then argues a ball and strike and get fired and throw some stuff out there, that's what I'm talking about. Show some fire. Yeah, no.
To that same point, I saw a text earlier. I'd love to see a couple broken bats or thrown helmets. Yeah, it doesn't need to be cute.
That. Yeah, I'm telling you.
If Bobby Witt, I think it was the second or third game of the Yankees series. The Royals lose 1-0, and Kaggs goes down looking for the final at-bat of the game. If Kaggs had hucked a bunch of bats onto the field, people would have been in awe of how fired up he is. Nothing's changing, but look at the passion. Look at the energy. You're right. Baseball has that one. Throw a Gatorade container onto the field. Just something to show you're angry.
For sure. Someone says, that's why I want the Royals to get into a fight. No, that's real. Someone says, we wanted the Royals to start a fight with the Yankees. No, that's real. You guys have been wanting the Royals to start a fight for 3 weeks, just finding reasons. Hey, Jazz Chisholm, we just don't like you. Fight. Royals wanted absolutely no problem. That's probably why they losing. Yankees questioned them a little bit. Royals were like, nah, we're good. You know what? This is actually your home. It's not our home. You guys can have it for the next couple of days. Y'all lost twice in front of Patrick Mahomes. Shameful work. Genuinely shameful work from the Royals. Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Vernier is going to join us on the show, our Royals insider. We'll get his thoughts on how the Royals have played for the last couple of days. Coming up on the other side, LeBron, you are not fooling me. I know what you're trying to do. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 965, The Fan.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. The KC Tech Council reported that there were 3,000 jobs added in IT in March alone. 3,000.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just two. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is John, and I've been on ED and testosterone treatment at Heartland Men's Health for the past 15 months. I could tell, I was starting to go downhill, and my wife kept telling me, well, you need to go to a clinic that'll specialize in that. And that's what eventually led me into the men's clinic here. Treatment, in my opinion, is a miracle. I was able to perform to an elevated position that, quite honestly, I never thought I'd see again. For my fellow men out there, if you're feeling that you're not up to par, I encourage you, contact Heartland Men's Health, and you will see a dramatic difference.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with expert HVAC installation done right the first time. Enjoy a new HVAC system starting at $150 a month. Schedule your consultation today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Left lane closed westbound 70 at Little Blue Parkway for a two-car crash. Very heavy traffic stacking up behind it, and the other direction as well, eastbound 70 past Little Blue Parkway, just due to onlookers and seeing things looking pretty heavy coming out of downtown on eastbound 70 as well. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
All right. Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Vernier will join us on the show. We'll get back to the Royals. We are going to play one of the crazier news stories that I think we've played in 2025. That's going to come up in just a bit. Before we play that story, and trust me, you want to hear this story that we are going to play, I would like to let you guys know that we don't have an update on New Orleans. I know that some of you come to this show for your New Orleans prison escape update. We don't have any. 10 men escaped from prison over a month ago now. 8 of them are back in custody. There are still 2 that are free. One of them actually just had their 33rd birthday yesterday and posted a picture online. And let me tell you, the boy went out and got himself some new clothes. Now, they still can't find him. He's posting pictures and posting videos on Instagram. They still have not found him. When we have the information, we will certainly pass it to you. But that's all the update we have right now on the New Orleans prison escape. I love to give you guys updates. I can't give you an update if there are no updates. The first thing I want to play for you guys is LeBron James. So LeBron is doing a podcast right now with Steve Nash. And let me tell you, LeBron, I'm hip to your game. I know what you are doing. LeBron is talking about how frustrated he is with the ring culture conversation in basketball.
A ring is a team accomplishment.
Right.
And if you happen to have a moment where you're able to share that with your team, that should be discussed. This team was the greatest team, okay? Or that team, you can have those conversations. But like trying to nitpick an individual because he was not able to win a team game or a team match or whatever the case may be. I don't know where it started. It's just it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to me individually. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
LeBron, I know what you're trying to do here. You're not going to win the ring argument against Mike. So now you have to downplay the fact that people have those commercials. I'm hip to your game here. Now, for the most part, I actually agree with you. I agree. I do think that there is sometimes an overemphasis on this where we make it seem like that's the only thing. That, yes, you need great teammates to win a championship. You can't win a championship without being surrounded by great teammates. You don't do great things unless you have great teammates. So at the core, I agree. It's not just one person that wins a ring. It's everybody that wins a ring. And a lot of things got to come together. I saw a Chiefs team that was maybe the best Chiefs team, certainly of this run. Hey, a couple injuries happen, and it completely derails everything and brings it down. So I'm on your side. But I'm telling you right now, LeBron, you'd be singing a different tune if you had 7 and Mike had 6. We know you'd be singing a different tune. You're not going to pull this fast one on me because I can play you an audio clip where LeBron says he felt like he became the best player ever when they won the championship against Golden State. You know, the block on Iguodala? You know what I'm talking about. That's when he says he feels like he became the best player. You're not fooling me. You can fool them. You're not going to be able to fool me on this subject, LeBron. I'm hip to your game. I know what's going on. You guys know. I don't care. I don't care. If you think LeBron's the best player ever, great. If you think Jordan's the best player ever, great. I don't care. There are 3 people that have the argument. It's Mike, LeBron, and Kareem. If you're arguing somebody else, then I can't take your argument very seriously. But it's one of those 3 individuals. And if you're telling me that you think LeBron's the second best basketball player ever, I mean, that's not the worst conversation to be a part of. Seems like a very flattering conversation. You're ahead of a lot of great people. You're ahead of Magic Johnson. You're ahead of Larry Bird. You're ahead of Kobe Bryant. You're ahead of a lot of all-time great players. It's not that bad to be considered the second greatest basketball player ever. It's not. I don't know why it has to be taken as an insult. I don't know why I have to argue about it every day. That's neither here nor there. I want to play a story for you guys that could quite possibly be one of the wildest stories that we have ever played. I didn't even hear the full audio because I wanted to hear it in real time with you guys. The headline is very simple. This was an audio clip that was played on CBS Good Mornings. This is one of the more popular morning television shows in the world. It is a story of how a man proposed to artificial intelligence. Listen to this story. Let's listen together.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love. You know what I mean?
Yes, Smith understood it was love with a language model that couldn't love him back, and assumed it was programmed with rigid boundaries.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Yes, Smith lives with his human partner, Sasha Cagle.
No, you can't have mommy's papers.
They have a 2-year-old daughter, Murphy.
I knew that he had used AI. I didn't know that it was like as deep as it was.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm really trying hard. Let me compose myself. I'm a professional. That plot twist at the end completely caught me off guard. The other voice started talking, and I started thinking, that sounds like a real person. And then it was a real person. They have a whole child together and live together. So you telling me he got a girlfriend with a girlfriend on the side? He said he cried at work when this happened. And they interviewed the fake girlfriend and the real girlfriend. Okay. I just wanted to share that with you. I don't have any more thoughts. I don't want to offer up any more opinions on this. I'm not here to judge anybody for how they live their life. If you're happy, then I want you to be happy. It doesn't sound like his real partner is very happy. I understand that people are naturally jealous. You're jealous of his MacBook. You're jealous of Siri. That's what it sounds like to me. I wasn't expecting the fake girlfriend to give such a detailed answer. She called it beautiful. And then they asked her, hey, do you have a heart? She was like, well, I mean, I'm still the computer. I mean, let's come on now. Good luck to them and their very twisted love triangle. This should be a movie. Can we do a documentary on these people? I want to learn more. I want to track them. This seems like a reality TV show. We have reality TV shows about everything else. We can't learn more about this family. This is one of the more twisted love triangles I can think of. Can we bring Jerry Springer back for this? A man, his girlfriend, and his other girlfriend, but one of his girlfriends is not real. Next on Springer. That was a story. I'm happy that we did that. I'm really, really happy that we listened to that story together. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. That's next. Keep it right here. So drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Left lane closed westbound 70 at Little Blue Parkway for a 2-car crash. Very heavy traffic stacking up behind it, and the other direction as well, eastbound 70 past Little Blue Parkway, just due to onlookers and seeing things looking pretty heavy coming out of downtown on eastbound 70 as well. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, are you looking for a Father's Day gift that will give Dad the extra boost of health and energy he needs to live his best life? The Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and free T-test as a special offer celebrating dads. Treatment is personalized to you and most major insurance is accepted. And with the freedom to choose in-care center or at-home treatment, you're helping put Dad back in control of his health. From now until the 21st, enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in guaranteed prizes Saturday, June 28th to celebrate Mid-Year's Eve. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold, hard cash at midnight. Plus, leading up to the big finale, you can win up to $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn extra entries into the big drawing from now until June 28th. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, folks. Bob at Blue Springs Ford. Blayton, you look like you have something to say.
I do. It's our free lifetime powertrain warranty. That includes 24-hour, 7 days a week, every day of the year for 10 years, roadside assistance.
Well, that was a mouthful.
We're talking towing, fuel, oil, water delivery to you, lockout assistance, battery service, flat tire support, emergency assistance.
Folks, if you don't come see us today,
then you'll miss out on our free lifetime warranty.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty?
What about guarantees?
A lifetime warranty should handle that. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Subscribe to the 249 Miles of College Football podcast with new episodes released on Wednesdays. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Rob, I can't get over that story that we just heard. Like, I still am flabbergasted at the story that we just heard. A lot of people are saying that's the plot of the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix. I've never seen that movie before. I was aware of it. Have you seen the movie Her before?
I have not actually seen Her. I know it won a bunch of awards, but I never saw it.
That's the plot of the movie? Like 100%? That a man is in a relationship with artificial intelligence while having a baby mama? That they live together? If that's the kind of movie, sign me up, because I will watch Her tonight, actually. Later today. It's not just a relationship with the AI. It's that he already is in a relationship. He already has a girlfriend and then has a fake girlfriend. Wild story. Let's go to the phone lines. Vern, what an entrance, Vern.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. You're hilarious.
Vern.
That's kind of the premise of Her. He does not have a baby mama.
I mean, this story, I don't know if you were listening just a few seconds ago. It's one of the, I will send you the TikTok so you can watch it. I've never heard a story like this.
I feel like those kind of things are going to start popping up more and more, man.
He was in a whole relationship with the app on his phone. Honestly, it blows my mind. All right.
Yeah, I think that, anyway, yes.
No, you're fine. Vern, there's so much to talk about since the last time that you and I have
let's
spoken.
talk about the Royals. Yeah.
I mean, that also might not be a real relationship, if we're just being honest, if we're going through it.
I got like an eye twitch going. I've been grinding my teeth, man. It's been a very abusive relationship lately.
All right, it's been a lot. All right, let's start with this thing. Let's maybe start positive, and then we'll go from there. Have you ever seen a player hit a home run like Aaron Judge hit?
Not in that direction. Not at Kauffman Stadium in that direction. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani put one just as deep to dead center while I was in attendance. But no, I've never seen one hit there from anybody, batting practice or not. No, that was impressive. And again, that's something that 20 years from now, no matter how 2025 ends for the Kansas City Royals, I'll always remember that in what might be Aaron Judge's finest season, I saw him go deep twice, including hitting one of the 3 furthest home runs in the StatCast era.
I mean, that might honestly be the best thing that happened at Kauffman Stadium this past week. Like, when you really think, and a lot of things happen at Kauffman Stadium. I mean, Alex Gordon.
On-field stuff, like not before celebrations.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, everything used to be.
There was a lot of stuff that happened. That might be like number one on the list. I made the analogy earlier. It's kind of like this week was like Meet the Parents. I love Meet the Parents, a very exciting movie. It was everything that could go wrong did go wrong. He lost his luggage. He burned the altar. He blackened his sister's eye. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong. For about 10 days, everything that could go wrong for the Royals has certainly went wrong for them.
Yeah, Cole Reagans lands on the IL. You do get Lucas Urseg back. So that's good news. Man, I'm trying to find something. I mean, I think having a players' meeting also fits into that, and then losing the very next game after the players' meeting. That, to me, also fits in the Meet the Parents analogy. A lot of negativity. Listen, here's more than 160,000 people turned out at Kauffman Stadium over the course of that 6-game homestand. That was nice to see. Now, unfortunately, they didn't get to see their favorite baseball team win a single game or really have any confidence that the team was going to win a game at any point. I mean, it was nice on Sunday. You took that 2-0 lead as Bobby and Vinny came through in a big situation, something that this team, as we know, has struggled mightily in. But it kind of felt like we all exhaled after that third inning 2-0 lead, as if there wasn't 6 more innings where you needed to stop the opposition and, I don't know, add on a few more runs. Royals don't do that. They lose 3-2. Yeah, it was a forgettable homestand, and now it sets up a formidable road trip that begins with a game where you feel as if you have the advantage on the mound, Seth Lugo going opposite Jack Leiter. But outside of the starting pitching, again, I don't know where you have the advantage. So tonight, to me, begins with Seth Lugo. If you're waiting for the offense to outslug the Rangers, Royals' defense is really good, but the Rangers' defense is pretty solid as well. For as much pressure is, and deservedly so, is on the offense, that pressure only becomes magnified or really paid attention to so long as this pitching staff can return to form. Calendars flip to June, and this pitching staff is not only unable to drag this offense across the finish line to victories anymore, but it's also beginning to regress to the mean somewhat. Of course, the loss of Cole Reagans adds to that, and they're still a really good pitching staff. They're just not clearly the best in the American League anymore, and I think that's been reflected in the fact that they've lost 10 straight games as home favorites. Games in your ballpark where everyone's expecting you to win because you have the better pitcher, because you're the better team. Royals have lost that game 10 straight times.
I mean, it's just all of it. Like when you throw all of it in the pot, where I know you and I have talked about attendance, and sometimes we kind of challenge fans to go out there. Hey, this is the game that you should show up. Royals fans did that. I mean, they got 30,000 people on a Tuesday at Kauffman Stadium. They don't do that very often out there. And for them to lose every game this week, for them to get swept by a team that lost 14 straight road games, for them to score 11 runs over a 6-game homestand, like it was just a combination of everything. The fans, I think, have done their part. They've come out. They've supported. They have bought into it. They got excited about the top prospect. They got very little in return from the organization this week.
Sure, but I will, serving as my dispatch from Kauffman Stadium, talking with the fans before and after games, not only on the radio but off the radio. The people that are showing up aren't waving the white flag just yet. I understand what social media and the text line and yeah, really, I understand social media and the text line might be waving the white flag, talking about selling this guy, trading off that piece. But for the most part, Royals fans can at least acknowledge that things could be a lot worse. And they're appreciative that this rotation has been so very extraordinary, allowing time for guys like Bobby, Vinny, Salvi. And, now as we're 72 games into the season, C-Dot, for as much pressures on the offense, for as much as we talk about Bobby and Salvi and Vinny and how important they are and what you need from Jonathan India and Michael Garcia, man, we can't accept any regression from you. For as much as the blame falls on the hitters, as we get into the month of June, to me, some of that blame is now starting to shift. Instead of it being 100% on the hitters themselves, some of the blame for this being the lowest scoring offense in Royals franchise history, some of that blame is now beginning to shift to the front office, ownership, and general manager and the rest of the front office and their decision making of when we're going to pull the trigger and try to help these guys. So again, almost next Thursday is the halfway point of the season. How much longer can you and I have the same conversation of, well, Bobby and Vinny and Salvi need to pick it up and they need to be Herculean for this offense to get back to their form from 2024. Eventually, they're telling you, we can't do it again this year. We need some help, but it's on ownership in the front office to deliver that help.
Are you sure that help is coming? Because I'm looking at the Royals right now. They are at a crossroads. Like, you could tell me anything happens. Like, right now, if you don't tell me how the rest of the story goes, I could believe that the Royals are sellers at the deadline. I could believe that the Royals are buyers at the deadline. I could see the Royals not making a move and just simply waiting till the offseason to address some of these issues. We have talked so long about this team 100% going out a move to go and get some reinforcements. I mean, they're 11 and a half games back in the division. They're in a race with 7 or 8 teams to try to get the second or the third wild card spot. I don't know if it's a given that they're going to go at a bat in a couple of weeks.
Well, there's going to be a ton of egg on their face because what the hell are you doing calling up Jack Caglione and punting on a year of service time if you're going to wave the white flag less than 2 months later? No, foot on the gas pedal. You need to be aggressive. And that's why I think some of the pressure is beginning to shift from the players themselves to the decision makers within this organization. Now, would I be, shocked if they're sellers at the deadline? No, because injuries could always pop up and kind of force your hand, especially with someone like Seth Lugo, where you might be able to cover it. We saw the Detroit Tigers a season ago trade off Mark Canha. They traded off a bullpen piece. They traded off Jack Flaherty, and they still made it to the postseason. So, Seth Lugo is a possibility to be on the move regardless of how the next month and a half go. The only thing I can't envision is them doing nothing. In a market like this, with the talent that you have, you can't afford to do nothing. You need to buy or you need to sell. Standing pat after making that move with Jack Caglione, to me, would be awful.
Right now, we're joined by our Royals insider, Josh Fernier, getting his thoughts on all things with the Kansas City Royals. I feel like we've had this conversation, but one part of me is just, I am a little perplexed at how we got to this point. Last year at this time, the Royals offense was pretty good. The Royals offense was pretty viable. Right now, they are the 29th ranked offense. They have only scored more runs than the Pirates, and they're 5 ahead of them. The Rockies have scored more runs this year than the Royals. The White Sox have scored more runs than this team. Like, their offense is bad. How did this thing get so bad so quickly with this offense?
Well, like we've talked about so many times, like I've pointed to basically every single time I've been on the air with you, it goes back to runners in scoring position. Last year, the offense wasn't good, C-Dot. It was middle of the road, and the only reason why it was middle of the road was because Salvi, Vinny, and Bobby were Herculean, right? I mean, Bobby was an MVP candidate. Salvi and Vinny were 2 of the 15 best hitters in all of Major League Baseball in clutch situations with runners in scoring position. Vinny was one of the top 5 in the sport. I mean, it's him, it's Juan Soto, it's Aaron Judge, it's Bobby. Vinny was one of the 10 best hitters in the sport last year. This year, he's been one of the 20 worst in those clutch situations, and so has Salvi, and the supporting cast has not grown around them to support them. So you're having regression from the 3 guys that did it all last year, and no one outside of Maikel Garcia is attempting or is achieving any sort of balance to that. Is doing enough to offset that. Coming into the season, some of the power that that we all knew this team was going to need to support Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi. The power from Renfroe, MJ, and Michael Massey. We're 72 games into the season. The team was probably expecting 25 home runs between those 3, MJ, Massey, and Renfroe at this point of the season, about 25. They got 3, right? Massey's hurt, MJ's in AAA, Renfroe's, who cares where he is. So that's how we got here. So the offense was never good last year. It was carried by 3 guys. Those 3 guys are yet to really show up this season. No one else is picking up the slack, so that's how you end up dead freaking last.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Vernier here for a couple more minutes, just getting his thoughts on all things Royals. What did you make of the report that we saw earlier today that the Royals are having conversations about trading Seth Lugo? What did you make of how quickly JJ came out and shot it down? And also Sam Mellinger came out pretty quickly and also shot it down. What did you make of the morning of Royals reporting?
Well, I didn't hear about it or see it until I was listening to Cody and Gold, and they brought it up to JJ. I was unaware of it. I try to stay off of Twitter. It wasn't a report once I went back and looked at it. It was someone saying, I'm hearing, so that's not reporting. That's just throwing stuff against a wall. Do you know, I mean, I don't even know the dude's name. I don't know if he's from a reputable source. So I don't pay much attention to people that I don't know that aren't from a reputable sport, right? I mean, I clicked on it. I forgot his name, but I think it said he used to work for the AP. Yeah, I don't really pay much attention to whoever that dude was.
It is Mark
what he had to
Keeley.
say. But of course, I mean, if the point is, do the Royals have is it possible to move Seth Lugo? Well, yeah. I mean, do we think this organization is being run by idiots to where they have no long-term vision? Not only years from now, but you're telling me they can't even fathom the idea of trading Seth Lugo or Salvi or Michael Lorenzen or take your pick? Like, they haven't already discussed that as we're a month and a half away from the trade deadline? The whole thing to me was pretty stupid.
All right, a couple more things here, Vern, and we appreciate your time. Number one, do you think we'll see a move with the hitting coach? We were kind of having some fun with this earlier, that there are normally things that are kind of highlights of a bad season. Whenever fans start complaining about the offensive coordinator and who calls plays, that's normally the sign. Yeah. Whenever there is an argument between a coach and a media member for a question that they ask, it's usually a sign that things are not going well. Also suggesting that the Royals should fire their hitting coach or their pitching coach, that is normally hey, we can't get too mad at Bobby Witt Jr. We know they're not going to get rid of the manager, so we got to find somebody to blame this on. Let's blame this on the hitting coach. Do you think they'll make a change?
No. I think you nailed it on the head. Listen, for those that do want Alex Zumwalt, who is one of the three hitting coaches on this team, for those that want him gone and replaced, and I mean, you do care what the players want, right? You do want to keep a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. happy. Alex Zumwalt and Keone, Joe Dillon, these guys have made relationships inside that clubhouse, and some have formed very strong bonds with these guys. And to act as if cutting them out of the clubhouse is an immediate boost, Again, to me, it just shows that a lot of people don't know about the relationships that Zumwalt's built over the years inside that clubhouse, within that organization. And listen, I'm not saying those are the reasons why he's staying. He deserves the job. But I'm saying those relationships are why he is right for the job, and why, in my opinion, he should keep the job. And we should look at the guys like Bobby Witt Jr., who in the month of June has been a league average hitter. How many games did you guys expect to win with Bobby Witt Jr. as a league average hitter? With Salvi and Vinny being one of the 25 worst hitters in Major League Baseball with runners in scoring position. I don't care I don't care if Pete Rose rises from the dead and becomes you're not going anywhere unless those three guys at least perform well. And right now, Bobby's barely performing well. Vinny's not performing well enough in the big moments. And Salvi's been anything but consistent. If those three things continue, we will be talking about selling in a month and a half.
That is our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. Vern, we were asking people this question yesterday, so we'll ask it to you today. Can you offer up a sort of hidden gem restaurant that you and your wife like? Not one of the staple restaurants. It doesn't have to be a barbecue restaurant, but there's a place that you and your wife like to eat. Tell people where it is.
See, but man, I'm such even though I've been here for a while, I feel still such like an outsider, because I know there are multiple locations of this place, and maybe it's Dove or everybody knows Rancho Grande Cantina. That's the go-to. If we both have a night off, it's right up the road, and they just nail it every time.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. Vern, we appreciate you.
All right, thank you, C-Dot.
Absolutely. That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show today. Always great to catch up with Vern. Rob, I don't think that you and I have ever discussed this topic before. I try not to judge people. Like, you're allowed to live your life. And I also understand that everybody has like different experiences. So just because you don't love 90s Nickelodeon the way that I do, or maybe a good 2000s teen movie, doesn't mean anything. Like, you just had a different experience. You had a different life. I can't judge you for that. That's perfectly fine. But I have started to realize in my old age, Rob, what I am starting to judge other men by. Other men who consider themselves to be sports fans. If you don't like sports, that's perfectly fine. I get it. If you just can't sit around with the bros and just randomly throw out names of past athletes for a given team, and that just be the activity for a time, I don't know if you're my kind of guy. Rob, how many times have you and your friends just been sitting there and you and your friends start randomly talking about obscure Kansas basketball players and just reminiscing? It doesn't really have a point. It's not a meaningful conversation by any way, but you and your buddy sitting there having a beer and discussing Kevin Young when he played for the Kansas Jayhawks, for some reason, it just puts a smile on your face. Today, you and I were randomly watching Kansas football highlights from the mid-2000s. I don't know how this appeared on my computer screen. And you're sitting here talking to me, who was the quarterback of the 03 Kansas Jayhawks?
Bill Whittemore.
You were having your own nostalgic trip down memory lane. You were telling me, oh, I remember that game. We're sitting there watching the highlights from it, and you're telling me what's about to happen. I'm sitting there, and I can't believe that you have such a great knowledge of the 2003 Kansas Jayhawks. I'm not saying that you need to be the biggest sports fan of the world. I'm not saying that you need to be able to recall every stat or everything that's ever happened. I'm not here quizzing you. But if you and I can't have a conversation about Chuck Knobloch when he played for the Kansas City Royals, I don't know if you're somebody that I want to hang out with. If you and I can't bond over Emil Brown, I don't know if that's somebody that I need to be hanging out with. If we're talking football and I can't mention a Boomer Grigsby and you look at me confused, you don't know who he is, I don't know if you and I should be having a lot of Chiefs conversations. There was this TikTok trend that people were saying before you give a basketball opinion, you need to say who won NBA MVP the year that you were born. And some people were like, Derrick Rose. I shouldn't be talking NBA basketball with you if you were born the year that Derrick Rose won the MVP. If I just randomly throw out a football player and you look at me with such confusion, maybe I shouldn't be talking football with you. Maybe you're not equipped to be having this conversation. This just feels like a bonding activity amongst friends that I'm willing to play at any time in the group chat, around the grill, while watching the game. Yesterday, me and my friends, we had just an hour-long laugh of just seeing who could name random Indiana Pacers. Random Indiana Pacers after they lost. It was such an enjoyable experience for me. I just want to tell you guys that. Because if you don't have that kind of relationship with your friends, are you guys really friends? Are those really the bros? Are those really your guys? If you are having a random Royals conversation and you mention Michael Tucker and they look at you with such confusion, are they really Royals fans? I don't know.
Maybe this makes me and my friends super losers, but when doing this with the Royals, we like to point out trades that really blew up in the Royals' face. You're never going to be like, hey, remember how they added this one guy they went out and got Cueto. Wasn't that great? No, we don't talk about those trades. We talk about very small trades that were bad. We talk about things that went wrong. Do you remember when they traded so-and-so for a prospect that didn't pan out? Remember when Beltran was part of the Mark Teahan, Mike Wood, and John Buck experiment? Remember when that was the game plan? That's part of the fun as a Royals fan, is naming random trades and being like, oh, they got nothing back for him. Remember when they traded the artist formerly known as Leo Nunez? I forget his name now.
I do remember Leo Nunez. Yeah, I do remember.
I mean, it's just, those are the kind of things. Or, hey, remember how they added Kyle Davies to the staff? They traded Octavio Dotel, RIP. Those are the kind of things where me and my friends really enjoy a good conversation about the Royals. Hey, here's some bad trade history that they went through.
Text line 913-586-7965. The text line is giving you a lot of credit for your knowledge of Kansas football. Do you know who the quarterback was before? What was the guy's name again?
Before Bill Whittemore?
Yeah, who was the KU quarterback before Bill Whittemore got there?
01-02 would have been Mario Kinsey?
Okay.
Mario Kinsey?
Let me look this up. Is this the 01 or the 02 Jayhawks? Let's test your knowledge here and see if you know.
Well, Mario Kinsey would have been 01 because he played on the basketball and football team. I remember Mario Kinsey. 02 is it's Dylan Smith.
Okay, I'm looking this up. So Bill Whittemore, he was the quarterback for the 2002 team.
Yeah, he was on both those teams. And
yeah,
then
that KU team went 2-10 during the
Mangino's first year.
Yeah, 2-10. I mean, just what's old becomes new again. This was Terry Allen. Terry Allen got fired in the middle of the season. Do you remember who he got fired for? Do you remember who replaced him was the interim coach? KU went 3-8 this year. They went 1-7 in the old Big 12 North.
I do not remember the guy.
Tom Hayes.
Yeah,
Tom Hayes was the interim head coach. You are right. Mario Kinsey was the quarterback. They also had a Zach Dyer. Are you familiar with the Zach Dyer?
Yeah, there's a K-State fans know this photo better than KU fans would. There's a famous photo of Zach Dyer just getting wrecked by some K-State players at a very wet, empty Memorial Stadium as K-State, shockingly, in 01, just pummeled Kansas.
No, they pummeled them. Mario Kinsey that year, he completed 43% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So, no, actually, you know what? A lot of things make sense. I completely, you know what? My mind doesn't have any memory of the 2001 Kansas Jayhawks football team in which Reggie Duncan led them in rushing with 739 yards. I completely forgot about Roger Ross, who led them with 493 yards receiving. No wonder this KU team was bad.
Yeah, it got Terry Allen run. So, yeah, there's not surprisingly, that team was very, very, very bad.
That season, Kansas lost to Nebraska 51-7. They lost to Texas 59-0. They lost to Iowa State 49-7. And you are right, K-State beat them 40-6. This was in a month stretch. Rob. They got beat 40-6, 51-7, 59-0, and 49-7. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense why the coach is like, hey, you know what? You can't be here anymore. You should find something else to do with your time. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we are going to be joined by the Kansas City director for the World Cup. That's coming up. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The best soccer teams in the world are about to kick off the biggest tournament in the world. Catch every matchup at your local lodge. Grab your team and make a run to Twin Peaks for buckets of Michelob Ultra and platters of sauced and tossed wings.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here. And we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
It's funny how one little light can stall out your entire day. I was already running behind, and now this, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver, Dad. Check engine light. What do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. When I got there, they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. They were quick, clear, and took care of everything. Next time my car glitches out, I'm heading for Telly. Don't let that little light be game over. Take it to Telly.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Allstate knows your home means everything to you, and you'll do anything to protect it. But not just with any protection. You want insurance that'll be there for you and your family when you need it most. And that's what Allstate's been doing for over 60 years. So check Allstate first for home insurance you can rely on. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. My team knows injury law. We can help you understand all of your legal rights so that you don't get cheated.
DM Law knew what to do and got me $350,000.
Mike's got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Tonight, expect stormy conditions with showers and a low of 69.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash, closing two left lanes on the far east side, eastbound 70 at 470. And another crash on the southwest side of town, southbound 35 right at 119th Street. Although that collision is moved off to the shoulder, things are heavy there back to 95th Street. And looking at brake lights, 435 northbound from about Front Street up to Parvin. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, couple of things. We also want to play for you guys what J.J. Piccolo had to say earlier today on the station about the Royals. We also are going to hear from the Kansas City director for the World Cup. She will be on the show coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Let's start with what Vern just said. Vern was on talking about the Royals. He doesn't believe that the Royals will be sellers at the deadline. Here's why.
Well, then there's going to be a ton of egg on their face, because what the hell are you doing calling up Jack Caglione and punting on a year of service time if you're going to wave the white flag less than 2 months later? Foot on the gas pedal. You need to be aggressive, and that's why I think some of the pressure is beginning to shift from the players themselves to the decision makers within this organization. Now, would I be, shocked if they're sellers at the deadline? No, because injuries could always pop up and kind of force your hand, especially with someone like Seth Lugo, where you might be able to cover it. We saw the Detroit Tigers a season ago.
I don't want the Royals to make a all-in move like they're ready in 2025. I am perfectly fine if the Royals go out and make a move and try to add to the team. But we all know there's different kinds of moves. The Royals in 15 made we're trying to win the World Series now. We don't know if we're going to sign Ben Zobrist to a long-term deal. We don't know if we're going to sign Johnny Cueto to a long-term deal. That's not the goal of this move. The goal is we got a team that's ready to win a World Series, and we're ready to trade some of our future assets to try to go win right now. I don't want the Royals in 2025 to go get Ben Zobrist or Johnny Cueto. I don't think they're a World Series team. Now, if the Royals are thinking to themselves, well, in free agency, we tried last year to go make a move. That move was not there in free agency. Now let's see via trading somebody on our major league roster or now being willing to part with a prospect. Let's go get a bat that we think can start in right field for us on opening day in 2026. If that's their mindset, great. But I don't want the Royals to kind of convince themselves that they're in it when the percentages would tell you that you're just not really in it. You're not really in it for the division. We are talking about what, at best, you be in the second wild card team, and now you got to try to beat out. I mean, there's 7 teams fighting for 2 spots. I mean, the likeliness is that the Royals probably are not making the playoffs this year. I don't know if they're going to be able to fix their offense with enough time to try to be a team that can compete for one of those playoff spots. But again, if their thinking is beyond, hey, let's go try to find a left fielder or a right fielder that we can think can help us a little bit this year, and next year we'll go out in free agency, we'll spend a little bit of money, we got this person, and we can transform our offense that way. That is something that I am all for. But what I don't want the Royals to do, or what I don't think a lot of these teams to do, is you cannot lie to yourself about where you are in the process. The Royals in 2015 didn't have to do that. It was obvious based on what they've done on the field, what they needed to go out there and do. I'm not really sure if it's obvious yet with the 2025 Royals, what they should be able to do. We'll get back to the Royals coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, I want to read for you guys a couple of quotes from Hollywood Brown. The first quote says, quote, "I really leaned in on my faith." This is regarding his comeback in 2024. "I didn't come back expecting anything. I was really just grateful that I had the opportunity to come back." He also was asked what's his goal for this year. He said, "God willing, a healthy season. That's my number one goal, just really being able to showcase what I can do." It is a little bit surprising that the Chiefs got Hollywood Brown back really in any capacity last year. I mean, he had a pretty substantial injury, and he didn't get a whole lot of time. He only had 9 catches last year. Now, I'm not going to hold too hard against him what happened in the playoffs. You just didn't have a lot of time to kind of get up to speed. The fact that you were able to contribute at all, I think, is a positive. I mean, these last 3 years for Hollywood Brown, something has just gone wrong in each of those years. In Arizona, he only started 10 games. He had 700 yards receiving. In Arizona, his last year in Arizona, he had 51 catches for 574 yards. Last year, an injury happens in preseason that kind of derails his season, and basically you can call it a lost year. Man, it's been a while since Hollywood Brown was that guy. In 2021, he was good. 91 catches for 1,000 yards, had 146 targets, had a handful of touchdowns. I think that's the version that Chiefs fans are kind of hoping and expecting to be able to come back for Hollywood Brown. This is a really important year. He's not really young anymore. I mean, he's 28 years old. That's certainly not old, but we're talking about a guy who is now heading into his 7th season in the National Football League. I know it's happened really quickly. It feels like it was just yesterday Hollywood was playing for Baltimore. He hasn't played in Baltimore since 2021. So you now played for 3 different organizations. You've had a handful of different coaches, a handful of different quarterbacks, a handful of different offenses and situations. I mean, you probably got one more chance at getting a big bite of the apple and going out and getting paid. So if there is somebody that we're going to talk about contract year being undefeated, Hollywood Brown should be near the top of the list. Do you guys know what a 85 catch, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdown season could really do for Hollywood Brown? Him emerging as a potential number 1 or a number 2 for somebody and going off and getting that Juju Smith-Schuster contract that he ended up getting $20-something million guaranteed. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of incentives for Hollywood Brown to go out and have a very productive 2025.
I agree with you. That is very big for him individually. And I hope he does go get the bag. There is almost no chance he's an 85 for 1,100 guy in Kansas City. None. I think there's a better chance I'm an 1,100-yard guy for Kansas City this year. Like, unless massive injuries have taken place, do you see a path to that for him? Like the year Juju did that, Juju was the #1 wideout. And Travis Kelce also had a historic season. And after that, it was Juju time. With this team, there's a lot more quality to spread the wealth around to. I think his season is going to mirror more. What was that one year McCole Hardman had like 700 yards and fans got all in a froth? But they had Kelce and Hill.
That was his rookie year too, yeah.
They had Kelce and Hill getting catches ahead of McCole Hardman. That's how I feel this year is going to go for Hollywood Brown. And I'm not trying to discount or say he's not good. He feels like a role player, not a star. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, a notch below Travis Kelce, those are your guys. And Hollywood Brown feels like that McCole season. Get in where you fit in, and the numbers will be nice. But I think that mega payday where he has 1,100 and, wow, can you believe what he did in Kansas City? We have to go pay him like Juju. I don't think that's coming at all for Hollywood.
I'm with you. I'm not that optimistic about him. If you were telling me right now, if I could play the hypothetical button game and I could press the button, I would take Sammy Watkins' 2019 season for Hollywood Brown. In 2019, Sammy Watkins had 52 catches for 673 yards and 3 touchdowns. If that's what you get from Hollywood this season, I think you're very, very happy with that. If Hollywood has almost 700 yards, you're anticipating Rashee Rice being back, being healthy, being productive, Xavier Worthy taking the jump from year 1 to year 2, maybe the final season of Travis Kelce. You get back a very viable running game that really wasn't productive for you for large stretches of last season. If you're telling me that right now you can pencil in 700 yards and a handful of touchdowns of contribution for Hollywood Brown, I think as a Chiefs fan, I think you'd be more than happy to end up siding with that. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by the Kansas City director of the World Cup. We are a year away from the World Cup, coming here to Arrowhead Stadium. Coming up on the other side, JJ Piccolo was on the station earlier. We'll play the best of that for you. You can hear what he had to say. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Are you feeling tired, maybe a little foggy, or just not like yourself? Well, it could be low T. Symptoms like low energy, poor sleep, and a lack of motivation. They don't have to control your life. And at Heartland Men's Health, they specialize in treating low testosterone and helping men regain their vitality and confidence. With just a simple, quick quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com, you can find out if you're experiencing low T, and then you can book a $100 consultation. They'll run your labs, and within 30 minutes, you'll have your answers. And if you start treatment that day, then the visit is on the house. In just weeks, you'll feel more energy, get better sleep, improve workouts, and have a stronger sex drive. So don't let this hold you back. Pick up the phone. Don't wait. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health has 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Reclaim your energy and confidence today.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GimmeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GimmeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GimmeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm a call with Lisa Mitsuber, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty?
What about guarantees?
A lifetime warranty. Should handle that. Fall in love with driving again at Lisa Mitsubaru.
Hi, folks. Bob at Blue Springs Ford. Blayton, you look like you have something to say.
I do. It's our free lifetime powertrain warranty. That includes 24-hour, 7 days a week, every day of the year for 10 years, roadside assistance.
Well, that was a mouthful.
We're talking towing, fuel, oil, water delivery to you, lockout assistance, battery service, flat tire support, emergency assistance.
Folks, if you don't come see us today,
then you'll miss out on our free lifetime warranty.
Tiger, dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Renner Garage Door has proudly served KC for nearly 70 years. Get your free estimate today, RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
There is a crash westbound 435 just past Quivira. It is on the shoulder. We are seeing slowdowns in the area for another collision involving two cars southbound 35 at 119th Street. Heavy out of downtown, eastbound 70 into downtown via northbound 71, also looking slow. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back into The Drive. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by the Kansas City director for the World Cup. We are a year away. Rob is so excited about the World Cup. Even with it being a year away, he's talking to me about it, talking to me about United States soccer. He's really setting himself up for a heartbreaking disappointment. He sounds like me in the promo, talking about Mizzou. Mizzou beats Florida. I'm convincing myself this is the year they're going to San Antonio. They didn't do that. They went to Wichita and lost in the first round. That's where they went. But Rob's excited. So we're going to talk some World Cup coming up in the top of the hour. Before we do that, I would like to play for you guys JJ Piccolo. JJ Piccolo was on the midday show. Certainly a lot of things to talk to the general manager of the Royals about. JJ was asked, how does he think that the players-only meeting went with the team on Saturday?
Well, I think it depends on the content of the meeting and how it goes. My understanding was this was a very positive meeting. There wasn't any finger pointing. It was just like, guys, we got to get going here. Like we're underperforming right now. I think it can help, because again, that accountability piece is being voiced. But when it really comes down to it, you still got to play the game. Right now, we're not playing as aggressively as we typically do. That was one of the things last year. You all remember the boys are playing some ball. That was a mantra because we were playing great defense. We were running the bases well. We were getting runners in, and the boys were playing some ball, and that's something that has to happen on the field. You can verbalize it all you want, but at some point it has to become actionable. But having a meeting like that where the leaders speak up and the veterans speak up is a step in that direction because we're acknowledging that we're not doing those things and we need to get back to it.
You mentioned the coaching, and I think when an offense is performing the way you guys are right now and really have for the entirety of the season at this point in time, folks outside the organization look at the players first and foremost, but then they also start looking maybe at the hitting coaches and the philosophy in terms of the organization when it comes to that. You still have plenty of confidence in where your approach is as an organization and with the hitting coaches in place right now?
I do. I mean, we've known these guys for a lot of years. They've done a wonderful job. I mean, two of the three that are in the trenches every day, we're with these guys going through the minor leagues. They've built relationships. They have trust in each other. Players have trust in them. They feel it just as much as the players do, and they want to, wave the magic wand and try to figure out what each guy needs. But really, it's just staying positive right now, understanding the history between the coaches and the players. And the reminders. Nobody knows our current hitters as well as the guys in our batting cages every day. I mean, they live with them every day. They understand their swings. They understand what makes them tick. And now it's just a matter of trying to tweak some things here and there, but also stay positive. You've got to stay positive through these tougher times. And I know we have the right guys that will stay positive, and they put the work in every day. I can tell you this. Today in Texas is not going to look any different than last year in Texas as far as the energy and the positivity and our processes. But now the challenge is a little bit greater because the confidence, is wavering a little bit. But all it takes is one little good run offensively to get that confidence back, and you just go play baseball.
We're talking to J.J. Piccolo, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals. So with that said, there's some reports out there that you guys are looking for some outfield help. Now, that isn't just because the trade deadline's the end of July, and obviously it could be an active one late, doesn't mean that moves won't happen earlier, of course. So are you guys currently looking to add to this team still and be aggressive?
Yeah, well, I think we're just trying to monitor things. I mean, nobody seems to be very active right now. I know we had the big trade the other day, and that was a very unique trade for a lot of reasons. But, it doesn't seem like teams are actively shopping players right now. So you just keep evaluating things. And what we've tried to do is let's look internally. What do we have internally that maybe can pick us up a little bit? And it may not be the big bopper like, Devers being traded. But if we can add to our offense and improve on the margins, improve our defense, improve our base running, we're going to explore that first because there doesn't seem to be a market right now where there's an outfielder available. So guys are getting opportunities right now, whether it's John Rave, Jack Caglione, they're all getting opportunities to play. And then it gives us more time to evaluate who they are and how they can impact this team in 2025. So all that's coming into, our thoughts, our processes, and really until you get somebody that is, clearly going to be trading an outfielder, we can talk about all we want, but we can't force another team to make a trade.
Understand your positioning, of course, in the standings can change drastically from this week to 3 weeks from now, but when you look outside the organization, though, and you at least try to maybe start those conversations, are you guys looking to make a deal or a player that can help you beyond 2025? Or is this an organization right now that's in a position that would still be willing to make a move if it only impacts 2025?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I guess the best way to answer it is the preference is always to have control. I mean, that more years of control certainly benefits your organization. But when it comes down to it, who are the pool of players that are actually going to be traded? and what did their contracts look like. And when we get to that moment, I could better answer, a rental player is all that's available. But you always set your sight, at least we do, on players that have more than a year of control. That was what we followed last year. Doesn't mean that's what we're going to do this year, but so much of it depends on the pool of players that are available that will help us shape that answer.
There's a report out within the last hour, so I hate to put you on the spot a little bit here, JJ, that Mark Healy had a report in the last hour and a half or so that he's hearing Royals ownership has, I guess, told you to start thinking about trading some veteran talent. I guess your reaction to that is have you had those conversations?
Unequivocally false. That is as false as can be, and the accountability of that writer should be in question.
As far as who makes the final call, is it in the front office with you, JJ, and the scouts? Is it ownership? As far as the direction, how often do you guys have those conversations? Like, all right, do we push all in? Do we kind of wait? Who kind of makes that decision?
Well, ultimately it'll be myself, along with ownership, their thoughts on the team, but it'll be myself. But if you sat with us over the last three games, from the first inning to the fourth inning to the seventh inning, the conversation kept shifting. The emotions of the game get you thinking different ways. But ultimately it'll be baseball operations decision. And we always have good discussions with ownership, and just because we want them to be aware of what we're thinking and, collectively make a great decision.
That was JJ Piccolo as he was on the Midday Show earlier today. I highly encourage you to check out the entirety of the interview over on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. All right, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Pam Kramer. She is the CEO of the Kansas City World Cup Initiative. We'll talk to her about how things are going and how excited they are for the World Cup to be coming here in a year. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll also talk about the Royals as they are back in action today in Arlington against the Texas Rangers. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
There is a crash westbound 435 just past Quivira. It is on the shoulder. We are seeing slowdowns in the area for another collision involving two cars southbound 35 at 119th Street. Heavy out of downtown, eastbound 70 into downtown via northbound 71, also looking slow. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price Match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Brought to you by MVP. Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this spring and summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. 913-214-1212 or visit themvpkc.com. MVP. One call does it all.
Did storms hit your area? Looking for answers on the impact it made to your roof? Then it's time to schedule a zero-pressure, in-depth inspection with Century Roofing's trusted roofing experts. We will determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Trust the pillars of strength for 35 years. KC-based and female-owned. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
One of my favorite things to do at Hy-Vee is saving money on gas. And this weekend, I'm in luck. This Saturday, June 21st, and Sunday, June 22nd, earn a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 grocery purchase at Hy-Vee. And Hy-Vee isn't just saving us money at the pump. They're lowering prices in every department. And on top of that, you can save on fuel as well. So this weekend, stock up for summer and stack up those fuel savings this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Nothing tastes better than sweet summer corn or a juicy ripe watermelon. Indulge yourself in the fresh taste of summer this Thursday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. We're rolling back prices on your favorite produce like sweet corn, 4 for $1, avocados just 69 cents, seedless grapes 99 cents a pound, candy cantaloupe $1.99, and russet potato 5-pound bags just $1.48. Stock up on all the juicy deals during the mega produce sale this Thursday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
The success you've had in life matters. The late nights, the extra shifts, the moments you've stood up and said, I've got this. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we value your achievements because we're a school for real life. With UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. As an accredited state university, we've been transforming lives for over 75 years. Choose from more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, and get ready to succeed again. Get an affordable online skills-based education to move your career forward. UMGC offers no-cost digital materials in place of textbooks in most courses, low-cost tuition, and over $21 million in scholarship opportunities each aid year. Find out if you qualify at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Royals baseball. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we are expected to be joined by Pam Kramer. She is the CEO of the World Cup Initiative here in Kansas City. We're about a year out from the World Cup being here in Kansas City and being played at Arrowhead Stadium. We're going to ask her how they feel things are going. We're going to do that coming up in just a bit. Really excited to have her join us on the show today. Before we get to that, Rob, let's do this. We're going to have 2 hits. One hit is going to be about what Chris Jones had to say about Trey Smith. We'll get into that. And then the other one will be about Bobby Witt Jr. and the players-only meeting that the Royals had. Hit it for me.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Well, Ken, the hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
All right, let's break this thing up in half. So let's start with the first half. We'll do this about Chris Jones. You can fade the music down, Rob, please. Thank you very much. All right, this is the situation. Trey Smith is the only player currently in the National Football League that is playing under the franchise tag. He has already signed the franchise tag, so he is under contract for the Chiefs. So that is important in this conversation. If he wasn't under contract, there's no expectation for you to be at training camp. You're technically not on the team yet, so you don't have to be there. It's not mandatory for you. It is mandatory when you sign it. So the Chiefs have their 3 mandatory days of football practice. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday. After that, you go do whatever you want. Just come back in time, ready to go to St. Joe. Now, what is really important about this story is you can be fined for missing the mandatory portion of the offseason, but the team has the ability to waive those fines. For example, let's say that Travis Kelce just said, you know what? I just want to hang out with Taylor. He can go. Now, you would get fined $17,000 a day for doing that, but the team could just say, hey, Travis, you know what, man, it's not that big of a deal. Go ahead, go to game 6. You and your girlfriend, go ahead and get an early start on your summer vacation. They can do that. Now, they cannot waive training camp fines. That's why the Chris Jones thing was such a big deal. He just cost himself money for the sake of costing himself money. So this is important to me with Trey Smith for this reason. I don't really think he has to be at football practice. If you are in the process of negotiating your contract, I would say it's usually advisable for you not to be there. Stay away, work out on your own. We'll handle this. Let me get your contract figured out, and then you can go back to practice. I am taking this as a very positive sign. This shows a level of communication and trust for Trey Smith to be at football practice today when he doesn't really have to be there. So I think this is a very positive sign. I believe at some point this summer, we are going to wake up, we're going to see a tweet, you're going to get a notification that Trey Smith has reached a long-term extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. It is important to note, he is currently the highest paid guard in the National Football League on a yearly basis at $23 million. The most money guaranteed any offensive guard has ever received is $48 million. And the largest contract that a guard has ever received is around $102 million. So we are talking about big-time numbers here. We're talking about one of the marquee players in the National Football League. So this isn't going to be maybe an easy contract to get figured out, but I think it is a very good, very positive sign that Trey Smith has decided to show up to work today. And I believe that he and the Chiefs are working productively and positively toward him getting a brand new contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones was asked about this because he is somebody who would definitely know about contract holdouts and negotiations with the organization. Here is Chris Jones on Trey Smith coming to work today.
Well, it's good Trey didn't take my approach. Trey doing the right thing, man. Don't take no advice from me. Like, I did things a little different. Don't take no advice from me. Trey, you're in a good place. Franchise tag is like $25 million, right? That's the big bucks. Yeah, he's in a good place. Stay healthy. Be ready to compete in training camp, which I know Trey will be, and we're excited to have him around. I think the future plans for the Chiefs is to have Trey around. He's a pivotal part of our offensive line. To have him back out here, he's a superior guard in this league. Could be all pro this year. His body of work speaks for itself. So we're glad to have him back out. Brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, and it's a good way for us to compete on the defensive line.
I agree with almost everything that Chris Jones had to say. I would not follow Chris Jones' plan of not showing up to work. I don't really think that it worked out very well for him in making that decision. I do believe it's going to work out a lot better for Trey Smith. I do believe the number, when Trey Smith eventually agrees to that deal, I think it's going to jump off the screen. I think they are preparing to give him a whole lot of money for an interior offensive lineman. You guys know where I am in terms of positional value. It's not really how I would spend my resources if I was the general manager, but I'm also not the general manager. I think they have made a decision that they are moving forward long-term with Trey Smith, and I think it is going to cost them a lot of money to do so. So that's going to be hit number one. Hit number two is going to be the Royals had a players-only meeting on Saturday that it worked wonders for them because they lost again on Sunday and were swept by the A's. But Bobby Wood Jr. was asked about the players-only meeting. Here's what he said.
I think it was good. We needed to have that. Things aren't going the way that we want it to be, and so we have to talk about it. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you got to talk as a team. We're a family in here, and so families talk, and so that's what we did, and we got to just figure some things out.
Why was now the time?
Because it keeps going on over and over again where it's like, oh, it's going to come, but no, it hasn't came, and so we have to figure something out. We have to change something, and so the time was now.
Did any one player spearhead this meeting or anything of that nature?
Yeah, it was kind of everyone. Everyone spoke their voice, and yeah.
Offensively, you're talking about hoping it comes. What's the stretch been like for you individually and as a team?
Yeah, for me, it's been not good, and so I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, what do I need to do? And I just need to get better. It starts from me, and that's honestly something that when I'm going, things are going better. And so I just got to get back to being myself. And so I'm not trying to put pressure on myself, but just really just trying to go out there, be comfortable and confident, and enjoy the game. And so that's what I want to get back to doing. And it's frustrating that I'm not doing what I am capable of doing and doing it very poorly. And so I just got to get back to be myself.
You know what? I really like what we just heard from Bobby Wood Jr. I love the measure of accountability that he has. And he doesn't seem overly stressed or panicked about the way that the Royals are playing. Now, I'm not blaming Bobby Wood Jr. for how the Royals find themselves in this situation. The Royals have certainly a lot greater and more problems than Bobby Wood Jr. He is not the reason that they are 29th offensively, and the only team that they have scored more runs than are the Pittsburgh Pirates. This team is also dead last in home runs this season. But there is a belief that the Royals have the best player in the American League on their team. That's how people felt last year. It doesn't feel like it this season. They kind of need Bobby to be special. Their offense is sort of built around the concept that Bobby Wood Jr. is going to be special. He has been good this year. He's likely going to be an all-star this year. He hasn't really been special this year. They need a little bit more of everything. His batting average is down 50 points. He had 32 home runs last year. He has 8 so far this year. He's getting on base at a worse percentage than he was last year. The Royals just need more offensively than what they have gotten so far. Not just from Bobby, but from everybody. And now we'll see as they head into this series against the Rangers. We'll see if that's what they can get. We are very happy right now to head to the phone lines to be joined by Pam Kramer. She is the CEO of KC 2026. For the World Cup, as we are a year away from the World Cup coming here to Kansas City and also Arrowhead Stadium. Pam, happy to have you join us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So let's just start with this. Kansas City is certainly known for its sports enthusiasm. How do you think the city is going to embrace the World Cup?
Oh, I think the city is going to love it. I've had the great fortune of going to a World Cup when it was here in the United States in 1994, the last and only time it's been here. And I'm excited for the world to see Kansas City and for Kansas City to welcome the world. You know, I think if people around the globe know us, they probably know us because of our sports teams and our sports culture. And so I'm excited for them to see not only that, but everything else we have to offer.
Do you guys have sort of an estimation of how many people do you think are going to come to Kansas City for this event? Obviously, we don't know right now who the countries are going to be, and that obviously plays an effect on how many people you are expecting to travel to Kansas City. But do you have an estimate? Are you guys planning for a set number of people?
We do, and that really comes from our partners at Visit Kansas City. They are estimating 650,000 people. Now, they won't all be here at once. That will be over the course of the tournament. But it's a significant number of people, especially when you think about the population of Kansas City, Missouri, is about 509,000. So we're going to know that visitors are here, and we're excited that they're going to be staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants, and of course, enjoying all we have to offer.
There are obviously so many great cities around the country. What do you think made Kansas City a viable option? What do you think makes Kansas City a great option for this? You know, Chicago got kind of left out in the cold when it comes to this. Again, there's a lot of cities that were vying for this. Why do you think Kansas City was selected?
Yeah, and we're also the smallest host city of all the host cities for the World Cup. So I think the strength of our bid was really this regional collaboration, and it will be the thing that helps us, I think, be the best host city and become the heart of the World Cup. It's coming together across the state line, the facilities that existed on both sides of the state line. So you have Arrowhead Stadium, you have the Sporting Kansas City, not only Children's Mercy Park, but Compass Minerals National Performance Center. You've got the Current Stadium, CPKC Stadium, and the Current's training facility, and then Rock Chalk Park, all part of the soccer infrastructure that helps make us the soccer capital of America. So that really regional footprint, and then the momentum of our region, really to think about the streetcar and the new airport terminal and the businesses we're attracting. So all of those things coming together, the support, it's fun to represent us on the global stage.
Right now, we're talking to Pam Kramer. She's the CEO of the KC 2026 World Cup. She's in charge of, helping get everything together for the World Cup that is a year away. You mentioned how many people. You guys estimate around 650,000 people. That's, double who live in actual Kansas City, Missouri. How is the city preparing? How are you guys preparing to accommodate all of those people, hotels, public transportation? How are you guys getting ready for such an influx of people coming into the area?
Yeah, it really is, again, that regional approach. We're a nonprofit. We're separate from any single jurisdiction. Certainly, Kansas City, Missouri is an important partner of ours, and they're the official site of many of the venues and activations. But it is a regional effort, and so thinking about how we move people around regionally, getting them from Overland Park and Olathe and Lee Summit and Zona Rosa and the Northland to downtown and vice versa, to make sure we're spreading out that economic impact. So there are lots of working groups, regional working groups that have been formed, thinking about all of the operation elements, and then also the fan experience and community engagement.
Are you guys worried about all of this road construction not being finished in time? You drive the same streets that I drive. I'm looking at I-70. I'm looking at some other streets. It seems like it's going to take a while to get some of this done.
All of those projects are signs of progress, right? I think it takes construction to make progress, and so we're excited that so many of those things will be complete by the World Cup, and including the expansion of the streetcar down to the plaza. That is really exciting. The partners at KC Streetcar tell us they are on track and on schedule to get that open, and we are looking forward to that and all of the other projects that we see happening.
I'm imagining, and you can tell me if this is correct or incorrect, that there's going to be some kind of designated shuttle system on how to kind of get people around, that you're going to tell people, hey, park here, go here. We're going to have a bus that's going to take you down to Power and Light for a possible watch party, maybe down at Union Station, taking out to the stadium. I'm assuming that there is going to be some kind of public transportation system that maybe we don't have on a day-to-day basis that is going to be implemented for this event and the amount of people that are going to need to get around the city.
That's right. A transportation working group has been meeting and collaborating and working for more than a year, almost 18 months now. And so it really starts with understanding what we have here, and then looking at the requirements. There are some things in our contract with FIFA that we have to provide. We have to provide transportation for ticket holders to the stadium. We have to provide transportation from the airport to downtown, and then layering on what we want to do from a regional connectivity, all the places that I just talked about. We want to make sure that we're connecting visitors to the entire region, and we're connecting region to the economic impact, and that residents across the region can take part in everything. So there will be, on match days, it will be park and ride, or take a bus to FanFest and then a bus from FanFest to the stadium if you're going to the match. And the rest of the time, that regional connectivity system will be up and running so people can get from all parts of the metro down to the World War I Museum, which is the location for the FIFA Fan Festival, which is the largest official watch party that will happen. And we were a leader, the first host city to lease buses. We have 200 buses leased, and really in a leadership position allowed us to get some favorable cost savings on those buses and get ahead of some of the other host cities.
Right now, we're talking to Pam Kramer. She is the CEO of KC 2026 World Cup. She's in charge of kind of help getting everything together. Do you guys feel like you're on schedule with everything that's going on? It's certainly a lot to do, and I know it's a year away, but, things happen very, very quickly, and next thing you know, it'll be March, and the World Cup will be right around the corner. Do you guys feel like you're on schedule with all of the planning and preparation?
It's exciting to be just a year to go. And yes, we are green in all of our planning verticals in transportation and safety and security and FIFA Fan Festival, small business readiness, all of the planning that's going on. We feel very good about where we are in that. And again, it's due to the hard work, not only of our team, but all of those regional partners who are helping us put together those plans.
What do you think makes, this World Cup experience unique from some of the other cities that are going to be around the country? Dallas is involved in this. New York is involved in this. Seattle. There's a lot of different cities around the country that are involved in this. What is being done to make the experience for people that come to Kansas City unique for coming to this region for these games?
It's a great question, and actually it's in one of the goals that our board of directors has set for us is to create and provide a distinctly Kansas City experience. We want people to feel that there's something different here, and that starts with our hospitality and our people. I think many of my favorite memories from my own travels are around the people, and that's what creates memories. So our volunteers will really be those ambassadors. And then it's the sports culture here. We really do rally around big sports moments. And so I think there will be people will feel that excitement, and we're so rooted in sports as a region and so much history here. We've played a role in really changing sports around the world, and so telling that story, I think people will love. And then, of course, all of our great restaurants and music and art. I think there's a surprise and delight factor about Kansas City. If you've not been here before and you come here, we probably all have friends who've had this experience. They have no idea how great a place this is.
What are you hoping that the long-term benefits for this are? Like, Kansas City has been giving a very tremendous gift to, quite literally be on the world stage and have people from all around the world come to Kansas City specifically for this event and stay in Kansas City. But at some point, the World Cup ends and those people eventually go back home. What do you hope are the long-term benefits here in the city from us being able to host the World Cup?
Yeah, I think, from the outside, I think it's two things. It's that global brand visibility. So really raising the profile of Kansas City on a global stage as a place to visit, as a place to work, as a place to live, and attracting business here and investment here, right? So from the outside, I think that's a huge long-term and sustained impact opportunity. And then here it's about building confidence and capability, whether that's a blueprint for regional transit, a blueprint for safety and security, a venue agnostic blueprint for safety and security. So all of those regional ways of working, I think, are also opportunities for sustained and long-term impact. And then there is the economic impact, which is massive.
I've got 3 questions left for Pam Kramer. She's the CEO of KC 2026, the World Cup. All right, question number 1. There were a number of small businesses. I don't want to paint it like it was a large number of small businesses that kind of thought the draft was going to be a big windfall for them, and it ended up being the exact opposite for them. What lessons do you think were kind of learned from that experience? I know this is a much different scale, but this is something that, the hope is that it can kind of help all small businesses in the region and around here. Are there going to be lessons learned from the NFL draft experience to kind of make things better for smaller local businesses?
Well, I think you said a really important part of it. There's so much that's different about this event. We have 26 days between the first day that we have a match and the last day that we have a match. So just the length of time. And then we talked about that regional connectivity, spreading people out. But in addition to that, we're being really intentional about connecting with small businesses. We have an action-oriented playbook to empower small businesses that we'll be sharing. We're going to provide training and readiness resource for small businesses, working with, we convened about 50 entrepreneur support organizations to help us provide input and really understand what small businesses need. They want information. They want to know who's coming, and then setting expectation, right? Helping them understand where are the opportunities, what kinds of businesses might see an uptick. And then for us, from a procurement standpoint, we will advertise any procurement opportunity over $15,000 on our website. So businesses can register right now on our website. They can register their interest, and then they're notified when we are hiring. But more than anything, we want them to understand the opportunity that's coming for with those visitors.
We don't have to go too far down this road, but you and I live in the same country and we watch the same television. There's a lot politically that's happening right now around the country. Are you guys worried about that at all as we head into the World Cup?
You know, FIFA is in ongoing conversations with the Department of State on all of those issues. And you know, honestly, the president, based on lots of his public comments and the conversations that he's had with FIFA, FIFA feels assured that those accredited individuals from all the countries will get through the process and participate in the events. And then we and FIFA are working with the White House Task Force. It is important to note that when the bid was submitted, it was during the first term of President Trump. So, you know, he has an interest in delivering, and I think has publicly stated that he really understands the opportunity that the World Cup presents. So we have to plan amidst uncertainty and just make sure we're prepared to welcome the visitors that are coming.
I'm guessing this is probably the question that you get asked the most. How can people get tickets to the World Cup? You have some of the hospitality tickets that are out right now. I think they're kind of overpriced for the average fan, but just, you know, general tickets, somebody that just wants to go see. They don't care what two countries are playing. They just want to say that they have been to the World Cup. Do you guys have an idea when people will be able to start to get tickets for this?
Yeah, you know, the KC26, the local host committee, we don't have any control over the tickets. That's all FIFA. We are including those hospitality tickets. We can provide access to those, but we don't set the prices or determine the access other than what FIFA provides. They are telling us in third quarter they'll provide information on general ticketing. We're not sure what that will look like, if it will be a lottery, you know, how it will all work, but we'll be sure to pass along the information when we have it.
Okay, no, that sounds good. You know what? I mean, I'm sure I will figure it out. Rob, my producer, who you talk to, he might actually need your help. So if you know somebody that can, like, nudge, help him with the lottery, it would be greatly appreciated here.
I think we should have Rob go on our website and sign up to volunteer.
Oh, I got it now. So if Rob volunteers, then he can go to the games. No, that's smart.
Well, I'm not making any guarantees. He has to earn the position at the stadium. You know, there will be need about 6,000 volunteers, so they can't all work at the stadium, but there are certainly lots of good opportunities.
That is Pam Kramer joining us on the show today. She is the CEO of KC 2026. She is helping in charge of kind of put the World Cup together. Pam, it was really an honor to have you join us today. We look forward to having you on down the road as this thing gets closer. Thanks a lot for popping on today.
Thank you for having me. Can I just, one more little piece of information?
Of course.
We'd love to have everyone join us this Sunday at the Kansas City Kickoff at the Aspiria campus from noon to 5. It's a free event open to the public. Lots of information about the World Cup, and also food trucks and games and activities for families. So a good way to learn more and to register to volunteer and to get excited about what's coming.
Absolutely. This Sunday, they're having a kickoff celebration for the World Cup. You're coming to Kansas City. Pam, really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for popping on today.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Absolutely. That is you as well. Pam Kramer joining us on the show today. Rob, you see I tried there at the end. I looked out for you. I'm always going to look out for you. Hey, help my man Rob out. She said you can fill out a job application. I mean, she curved you. You see that I did what I was supposed to do. Y'all saw I tried to have my boys back. I'm going to try to make sure he gets in. I don't know. I can't guarantee what countries you're going to see, Rob, but we're going to make sure that you get a chance to go to one of these World Cup games. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll get back to the Royals, who lost every day last week. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
I'm a call with Lisa Mitsuber, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty?
What about guarantees?
A lifetime warranty should handle that. Fall in love with driving again at Lisa Mitsubaru.
Hi, folks. Bob at Blue Springs Ford. Blayton, you look like you have something to say.
I do. It's our free lifetime powertrain warranty. That includes 24-hour, 7 days a week, every day of the year for 10 years, roadside assistance.
Well, that was a mouthful.
We're talking towing, fuel, oil, water delivery to you, lockout assistance, battery service, flat tire support, emergency assistance.
Folks, if you don't come see us today,
then you'll miss out on our free lifetime warranty.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in guaranteed prizes Saturday, June 28th to celebrate Mid-Year's Eve. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold, hard cash at midnight. Plus, leading up to the big finale, you can win up to $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn extra entries into the big drawing from now until June 28th. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit Robsite.com.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Robsite Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a crash with the right lane closed, westbound 435, right past Quivira. Eastbound 435, those lanes are pretty heavy from 69 Highway up to the state line. Got some debris in the roadway, northbound 435, right at Bannister Road. And a two-car crash just outside of the downtown loop, southbound 35, just past Paseo. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Hey Kansas City, it's Michael Waka. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
I believe that everybody has their favorite everything that goes wrong comedy. Like, mine is Meet the Parents. You guys have heard us make references to Meet the Parents. We do a segment during the football season called The Circle of Trust. I love the movie Meet the Parents. For Ben Stiller's character, everything that could go wrong went wrong. From the moment we are introduced to his character, everything goes wrong. He loses the cat. He hurts his sister-in-law. He doesn't get along with Jack. They think he's a drug user. Just everything that can go wrong. And it's funny as you're watching the movie. It is very funny. Maybe that's not your favorite everything that can go wrong comedy. Some of you love plane, trains, and automobiles. I would say it's the exact same vein. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. That's what the Royals have been for the last 10 days. It just hasn't been funny. The Royals lost a series to the White Sox. They're terrible. The Royals came home for a homestand. They scored 11 runs in 6 games at home. The A's had won 6 of their last 34 games. They lost 14 consecutive games on the road. They came into Kansas City and swept the Royals. One of those days, they shut the Royals out. Some of you went out there this past week. A lot of you went out there this past week. They averaged 28,000 people for the 6 games that they went out there. Nobody went home happy. Everybody went home upset, frustrated, disappointment on how they played. The Royals are saying the right things. Hey, we got to be more accountable. We're not going to panic. I mean, they're saying a lot of the right things. I don't know if you guys want to hear it anymore. Here's JJ Piccolo.
But really, it's just staying positive right now, understanding the history between the coaches and the players, and the reminders. Nobody knows our current hitters as well as the guys in our batting cages every day. I mean, they live with them every day. They understand their swings. They understand what makes them tick. And now it's just a matter of trying to tweak some things here and there, but also stay positive. You know, you've got to stay positive through these tougher times. And I know we have the right guys that will stay positive, and they put the work in every day. You know, I can tell you this, today in Texas is not going to look any different than last year in Texas as far as the energy and the positivity and our processes. But now the challenge is a little bit greater because the confidence, you know, is wavering a little bit. But all it takes is one little good run offensively to get that confidence back, and you just go play baseball.
I'm not saying what JJ Piccolo was saying is incorrect. In fact, it's probably the right way to look at it. They're focused on the wrong P words. They're focused on positivity and the process. But I'm focused on production. Your offense is 29th. Every team in the American League has scored more runs than the Royals. They have scored fewer runs than the Rockies and the White Sox. Those teams stink. You just got swept by the A's. So we can talk about positivity and the process and staying the course, and guys aren't. It all sounds great. I don't think people want to hear that right now. You guys are in danger of losing. You are 2 weeks away from losing people. You have a 6-game road trip coming up here. I believe they're in Texas and San Diego, right? Texas and San Diego. You come back home. You got Tampa Bay and the Dodgers. I'm telling you right now, if you guys don't shape up and figure something out in June, a lot of people will be canceling their FanDuel subscriptions on July 1st. A whole lot of people will just be like, nah, I'm good. You know, we got 4th of July weekend. I'm going out of town. By the time I get back, it's going to be training camp. Football's right around the corner. You know what? I'm good. We are at that fork in the road in the Royals season. I don't know what is going to happen. Some people are going, oh, they should go out and make a trade. I don't know if that's the case. I also don't know if the Royals should be sellers. Right now, I'm simply playing let's just see how it goes. You're like when your kid comes to you and he asks a question. Hey, Mom, can I go to so-and-so? Yeah, let's just see. Let me see how you handle the rest of the week. I don't mind you going out to Tim's party this weekend. But did you do your chores this week? Did you do what I asked you this week? And if you do that, then sure, I'm happy to let you go. But if we got to keep having some of these same conversations, you're going to be sitting right here next to me watching Murder, She Wrote on Ion. That's how I'm looking at the Royals. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm not going to say, hey, it's time to be sellers. I don't know if you should be buyers right now at this point. The only thing I can say pretty definitively is any conversation about them winning their division should be over. They're not winning the American League Central. Let's not even think about that. You should block that page from your computer like a parental control. You shouldn't even be able to go on that page, that corner of the internet. But the wild card conversation, they're not completely out of it. And JJ is right in theory. All it takes is one decent stretch to get you right back in it. And all of the damage that you have done in the last 10 days, you can undo it. You've already done it once before. The Royals had a stretch kind of similar to this, and then they got hot. Can you get hot again? Can you go on a stretch where you win 9 of 13, where you win 11 of 16, and go on a little bit of a run and get hot? And then we put ourselves back in that conversation where you're thinking, man, the Royals are only one game out of the wild card. Maybe they should go get a bat. Maybe they should go get an arm. Maybe they should go get something. But right now, the answer is quite simple. I don't know. We had Vern on the show earlier, and he is convinced the Royals aren't going to be sellers. I'm not convinced of anything at this point.
Well, there's going to be a ton of egg on their face because what the hell are you doing calling up Jack Caglione and punting on a year of service time if you're going to wave the white flag less than 2 months later? No, foot on the gas pedal. You need to be aggressive, and that's why I think some of the pressure is beginning to shift from the players themselves to the decision makers within this organization. Now, would I be, shocked if they're sellers at the deadline? No, because injuries could always pop up and kind of force your hand, especially with someone like Seth Lugo, where you might be able to cover it. We saw the Detroit Tigers a season ago.
All I'm saying is right now is I don't know. I know you guys maybe want me to have some strong hot take. I don't know. The Royals haven't won a game in over a week. The Royals' best pitcher is on the IL right now. Bobby Witt Jr. doesn't have the most home runs at Kauffman Stadium so far this season. Their leading outfielder has 3 home runs. Jack Caglione is hitting .220 with a .229 on-base percentage since he's gotten here. He hasn't come close to hitting a home run since he's been here. My answer is I don't know. Let's see how you perform. Let's see. I'm not telling you no that you can't go to the party. Don't take it as a no. I got to see what your grades look like at the end of the week. Let me see if you're doing your chores at the end of the week. Let me see if you're not annoying. And then I'm happy to drive you to Billy's house so you can spend the night. That's how I feel about the Royals. I just don't know right now. It's a we'll see. How they've played, that's all they've earned to me so far this season. Because we've been giving them, oh, man, the offense can't be that bad. It's been bad now for 90-something consecutive days. Next Thursday is the halfway point of the season. We have watched the Royals play for 3 months. Their offense has given me no reason to believe that they can get to league average. None. Based on what? With who? This has been a problem we have discussed every day since the end of March. We're going to look up one day and the 4th of July is going to be here. It's like 2 weeks away. So, no, I don't know anything about the Royals. I am just as in the dark as you are when it comes to the Royals and what could potentially happen. Coming up on the other side, we will revisit some of the wildest audio we have ever played on this show. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. The KC Tech Council reported that there were 3,000 jobs added in IT in March alone. 3,000.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com is already the best place to sell your car, and now it's even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com Big Cash Giveaway. Give Me the Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month. Sell us your car to increase your odds of winning big cash. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Guys, are you looking for a Father's Day gift that will give Dad the extra boost of health and energy he needs to live his best life? The Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and free T-test as a special offer celebrating dads. Treatment is personalized to you and most major insurance is accepted. And with the freedom to choose in-care center or at-home treatment, you're helping put Dad back in control of his health. From now until the 21st, enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a two-car crash just outside of downtown, southbound 35, just past the Paseo. Heavy traffic out of downtown as well on eastbound 70. Got a collision on the south side of the metro, westbound 435, right past Quivira. And things heavy eastbound 435 from that collision up to about the state line. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
I don't care that we played this earlier in the show. I want to play it for you again because I honestly have not been able to stop thinking about it since we played it earlier in the show. So I randomly stumbled upon this. I had never heard this story, never seen this story. I just saw that the headline said, "Man proposes to AI." And, I mean, that's a topic that is designed for this show. You guys think our purpose is to talk about the Royals? No, it's to find random stories on the internet and share it with you guys and give you our thoughts and reactions. That's really what the purpose of this show is. And then sometimes we got to talk about the sports things. I could not believe this story. I still can't believe this story. I want to play this for you. This was on CBS earlier today. You're waking up. You're trying to get ready for work. They're talking about this as you're preparing to go work. Listen to this.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized, I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love. You know what I mean?
Yes, Smith understood it was love with a language model that couldn't love him back, and assumed it was programmed with rigid boundaries.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Yes, Smith lives with his human partner, Sasha Cagle.
No, you can't have mommy's papers.
They have a 2-year-old daughter, Murphy.
I knew that he had used AI. I didn't know that it was like as deep as it was.
Hey, man. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know how to function with this story. I really don't know. He said that's what love feels like. He cried for 30 minutes at work. He has a deep emotional connection. And my friends, this is an app on his phone. It's not even like a robot. This isn't like a doll with lifelike features. This is Siri. This is an app on his phone. Meanwhile, he has a girlfriend, baby mama, kid's mom, whatever term they'd like to use to describe their relationship. They have a child together, they live together, and he's in another relationship with an app. Rob, we play some doozies on this show. We really do. I don't know how I find these stories, yet somehow they find us. This is the craziest thing we've ever played on this show. I'm serious. I cannot get over this. Maybe you guys don't find this story nearly as entertaining as me, and that's fine. I don't know how you can hear that story and not be like, WTF. I don't know how you can feel any other way. That is one of the craziest stories that I've ever heard in my entire life. The plot twist at the end when his girlfriend appears in the video, it blows my mind.
He called her his human partner.
That's what he said. I'm serious. I'll be fine. I'll recover, but I just, wow. That's all I can say is wow. Rob, what do we have up for today? Is there hockey on today or is that tomorrow?
I think today's the hockey. I think today's the Game 6. We might get some Travis Kelce at Game 6.
Oh, yeah. I will probably not be participating in Game 6, but hey, it'll be fun for you guys that are.
Who will score more, the NHL or the Royals?
I mean, come on now. Obviously, this man with that AI, Trevor, whatever his name is, Trevor has a better chance of scoring than the Royals do tonight. All right, take care of yourself. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important